Hello, fellow movie Crusaders, and welcome to our final episode of the end of 2025. It is now 2026, so now we are going to look on to the future with our most anticipated films for the future 2026. My name's Sean Waskrug, and as always is Brian Michaels. Last year, we had quite a few films that we were anticipating. Some were great, some were disappointing. And some were compiled as the most anticipated film of the year and ended up being on our worst list. Don't worry, we're not doing that again this year. But we both have 30 movies. I'm sure there's going to be crossover between them, but we both picked 30 films that are coming out this year that we are most anticipating. Obviously, just like every year in January, there's probably 100 films that we don't even know exists yet, or don't know a single synopsis, or who's in it, or when it comes out, or it's something that was planned for 2027 and it's coming out in 2026, or there could be a good chunk of our movies that are supposed to come out this year that get pushed to 2027. So this list is very much of what we know and what we can see, and there's so much that we're just not going to know, especially when we get to our half-year mark. Half-year mark, our list is going to be so much different, because we're going to know more at that point. But looking at 2026 so far, how are you feeling, Brian, about your most anticipated list? Are you feeling excited for this year? Or are you feeling just kind of or like, how are you feeling?
No, I'm very excited about this year. I mean, there's a couple like heavy hitters, which are kind of obvious. It's just a matter of where we have them on our lists. And there's a lot of stuff that, looks good, but it's hard to tell, like you said, but we're going on the information we have now, which, some of them we have a trailer. A lot of them we don't have trailers. A lot of them we don't have anything but, like you said, a synopsis and a cast list. And a lot of my list, actually, more than I expected, is filmmaker driven. I have a lot of movies based on the directors involved and then the cast they put together. It's like they ended up higher on my list than I expected, above things like known quantities, which usually dominate the list, like the sequels and spin-offs and that, which there's still plenty of those on my list as well. But there's a lot of stuff that ranked fairly highly just based on who is involved. But yeah, it's the usual disclaimer we have to give. This is our list based on the information we have right now. And even then, I know you had to stop yourself from rearranging my list. I should have done that, because up until 5 minutes ago, I've still been constantly moving everything. So this is what we think at this exact moment, and that's it.
Yeah, I basically told myself after right around Christmas, I'm like, I'm setting my list. This is it. I ain't fucking with it no more, because I'm just
the only way you change is if a new trailer popped up or something, it might affect it. But yeah, which
at this time I think there's only one trailer that's been released that's on my anticipated. It was more like a 30-second teaser that I still haven't watched. Mm-hmm. Other than that, everything that I've needed to see has been seen and what's been available. But yeah, I agree. There's a good chunk of these movies that are in here that are literally by director or cast name only, where I'm like, okay, that looks like a good group of actors that I'm intrigued to see that, or okay, this is a director that I love. Can't really go on much more. The synopsis is like one sentence, which tells me jack shit, but you know what? I'm ready for it. Let's go for it. And then of course you got your sequels and your franchises, which obviously mine are probably going to overtake a lot of the top 10, unlike Brian. So call me
there's still plenty in there. Don't get me wrong.
Call me a basic bitch. I don't fucking care. I'm excited for those fucking movies. And if you don't like it, I don't care. But there are more movies in my anticipated that I would, under normal circumstances, probably wouldn't have had on here. Or if I did, they would have been way lower. Because my list was at 60 when we first started discussing this. And we had to cut 30 of them. Because we're like, look, we can't have a 5-hour video.
Yeah, this is the most. It's not every movie we're anticipating, or else we'd have lists of 100 movies each. We had to decide which are the most anticipated. So
yes, so we're gonna do it kind of how we did the best of 2025. If I say a movie and it's my 25th, but it's Brian's 6th, we're just gonna wait and talk about it when we get to Brian's 6th. So that way we're having it, basically showcased at a higher moment, just because whoever has the higher rank, we're just going to hold off and talk about it then, instead of talking about it very, very low. So if something not that it's going to, let's say he pops up with Avengers Doomsday at 28, it's okay, I guess we could talk about it right now. But in an hour, we probably should be talking about it. So we're going to do it that way. Like I said, some of these choices we might have a little bit to actually like talk about and go into, and the others it's like, here's the movie, here's what's in it, and yeah,
Next.
cool.
Yeah.
Next one. So there might be something we go through quickly and something we're going to sit down and take our time with. But let's go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and get it started.
You go this time. Yeah.
My number 30 is one of those movies that, like I said, we don't know a whole lot about, but you know what? Based on the lead actor and the director, I am actually putting this on my list, and that's Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Is that on your list?
Not on my list.
Okay. Yes, I got burnt last year with The Wolfman from Lee Wanell. But unlike Brian, I liked Invisible Man. I mean, I guess we're not counting Abigail in this kind of resurgence of Universal Monster stuff, are we? No. I mean, and like we said, I like Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, and we do have another Frankenstein film coming out in 2026, but this Lee Cronin one, I mean, he did Evil Dead Rise, which I thought was very good, but not as good as the first, or not the first Evil Dead, but 2013's Evil Dead. But I like the way he does his style. But the main reason why I'm giving this the opportunity of being in my top 30 is the lead actor, which is Jack Reynor. I love Jack Reynor. He is one of those guys that we're eventually going to shoot this show. We've been talking about this show for probably 2+ years, where Brian and I were going to pick the people who are not huge yet, that like when we did with Glenn Powell and stuff. We're like, we want these guys to get big. We want these guys to be talked about. We're going to do like a top 25 or something like that. Jack Reynor is one of those guys for me.
The cusp of breaking out kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved him in Sing Street. I just really like the way this guy acts, and I don't know if he's going to be the Mummy or if he's going to be like the lead male who's going up against the Mummy. I don't know, because we don't know the cast list yet. I just know that he is in it, and because of that, I'm open and excited to check it out, because I want to see what Lee Cronin does with the Mummy, because we know he can do gore very, very well with Evil Dead Rise, and the Mummy's not necessarily a gory film. And I'm assuming this is going to lean more towards Universal Monsters Mummy and not like Brendan Fraser's Mummy. So I'm real intrigued by it, but I really want to see what Jack Reynor does. And I hope this is something that could put Jack Reynor on the map for more people, because I think he really deserves it. But yeah. What's your number 30?
Going back and forth. Okay, sorry. I don't know if we're doing like the honorable mention kind of thing.
I mean, we could do that. I didn't consider
it's fine. Okay. At 30 is where I put Digger. Do you have that on your list?
I have that higher.
All right, we'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
Okay. My number 29, I know is not on Brian's list because he doesn't care for this franchise, and that is the Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie. I enjoyed the first one for what it was. Some people called it very simple, and I was like, yeah, that's all it needed to be. They just needed to make sure that the movie like worked. It didn't have to break the mold. It didn't have to have this overly complex plot. It's a video game movie, and it's more directed towards kids because it's Illumination. The only thing I didn't like was that Bowser was in love with Peach, which I know is technically in the games, but I really just didn't care for it, and I hate the fucking Peaches song. But other than that, I thought visually everything looked great in that first one. Charlie Day was great as Luigi, and I think Chris Pratt was fine as Mario. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this one. Also, Seth Rogen was great as Donkey Kong, and of course the Mario Kart scene was awesome. So I'm excited to see them potentially bring Yoshi into this, which they should, because that was kind of a post-credit tease in the last one. Which I saw the first trailer. The first trailer didn't do much to excite me for this, which is probably why it's at 29 and not higher for me. But I really do actually want to see the sequel, and I hope it actually elevates it, and it's not just kind of like them doing the same thing twice. Because now that we've gotten that first movie done, now we need to start, putting some oomph into this, and I really hope that they do that with this one. And I know this is not on your list.
No, not my list. If I jump to 29, I put a movie just recently got a trailer, and it's called They Will Kill You. You heard of this one? It's on your list?
No, I don't know what this is.
So this is a movie. Zazie Beetz stars in this movie. It basically, she answers a help wanted ad to be a housekeeper in this New York high-rise building. But then it turns out there's like maybe the satanic cult involved there. And it from the looks of the trailer, it looks like people are all trying to hunt her down and kill her, and she's kind of fighting back. Almost looks like a little bit like a Ready or Not kind of scenario. But it looks like it's got the same kind of sense of humor that I like in this kind of movie. It looks like it's kind of bloody and violent. So it somewhere in that kind of Ready or Not or Nobody, or it's somewhere in that kind of tone. So this is just one that was not on my radar at all. Saw a trailer for it, and I'm like, this just looks like fun. Which if you've ever watched anything we always say, well, at least I do, and Sean's recently come around to my side. A lot of the stuff I'm basing on my entertainment value. And this is the stuff that I don't necessarily think will be the best films of the year, but will be the ones that I enjoy the most. And this one looked like a lot of fun, so at least made the lower part of my list. Also has Patricia Arquette in it, Tom Felton, who I believe is Draco Malfoy, Heather Graham's in it. I think those are the only names. But yeah.
Now that you're like describing it, maybe I saw this trailer, but it didn't do enough to like. Maybe it was on like my 60 list of 60, the list of 30. I feel like this is gonna be on your. I feel like this is gonna be close to being on your anticipated, like around this range, just because of how we feel about this. But I gotta put it on there. My number 28 is Scream 7.
I have a little bit higher.
Okay, we'll talk about that a little bit later then.
But similar speaking, at 28, I have Scary Movie 6.
It was on my long list. I took it off.
Okay.
So we can talk about it now.
So Scary Movie 6, we don't know a whole lot about. I mean, we've heard of some of the people that are returning, with Regina Hall and Marlon Sean Wayans. Anna Faris is coming back. It's going to have apparently a lot of new people in it. Damon Wayans Jr. is being added to it. There's very little known about this movie. However, it's just the fact of bringing back Scary Movie. It's back in the hands of the Wayans, who started the whole thing off with the first Scary Movie. I think they did the second one as well. And I think that as opposed to like the old ones, which they were pumping out like every couple of years, I think that with this one, enough time has passed that like there's kind of been whole new trends in the horror genre, and a lot more movies, new movies have come out that they can parody and spoof without feeling like they're retreading and doing the same things they've already done before. And so I think that this is an opportunity. It has the potential to be something new and fresh and funny, and kind of poke holes at like, current horror. Because I mean, the last Scary Movie came out before we had like, the elevated horror movies or some of the other subgenres that we have. And so I'm curious to see what they do with that. This could be a disaster. I don't know. But either way, I'm anticipating because I want to check it out and see if it's good.
Yeah, I think I stopped or gave up on Scary Movie after the fourth one. So I didn't watch the last couple. But parody movies seem to be looking like they're kind of making a resurgence with, this and Naked Gun, and I feel like there's another one. What's that?
The Downton Abbey kind of one, Beckham Hall.
Yeah. So maybe, but I also am like hesitant because I was like, this could be just like Naked Gun, where we're like excited and then it just doesn't match what we wanted. But
it could go either way. Yeah.
But I'm excited because it looks like everyone, for the most part, is coming back to do this. So I'm intrigued to see what it's going to be like with all the returning cast coming back for this. And I kind of want to see where they're going to go with it, because Terrifier is going to be on there at some point. And I feel like it's going to probably be like Shawn Wayans doing it, and it's going to be something gay, because his character is always gay in some way. And so with Art the Clown, I feel like that's kind of where the joke should be. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see what they're going to try to spoof, or what the main story is going to be, because obviously the first Scary Movie was Scream, the second one was like The Haunting, and the third one was kind of like Signs and stuff like that. So I'm intrigued to see what the main point's going to be. But yeah, it was on my list, but I had to cut it to get it down to 30. But yeah, it should be intriguing enough to see where we go from there.
Part of me is almost going to open for a Sinners in there. So
I mean,
maybe not as the main one, but I'm sure they'll cover it. Yeah.
I feel like we're going to Get Out before we get Sinners.
Oh yeah, see, there's the whole Jordan Peele. See, so much stuff is coming out. They have so much material.
Not Signs. You got Us, and I feel like Jordan Peele's gonna have his own like little 10-minute block in this thing. My next one, I feel like we're not gonna talk about right now, because I know this is gonna be higher up on your list. My number 27 is Ready or Not 2: Here I Come.
I have that higher.
Exactly. Okay. You're 27. At
27, I have a movie called One Night Only. You had The Purge, where all crime was available, or was legal for a year. Then you had like Werewolves, which I loved from last year, which one night of the year, like a certain portion of the population would all turn to werewolves. You had to lock yourself up and defend yourself. This is one, it's a comedy where it's one night only. Two strangers scramble to find someone to sleep with on the one night of the year when premarital sex is legal. So it's a one night only kind of thing. This was stars. See, this is the kind of cast I like, kind of up and coming people. Monica Barbaro, who we know from Top Gun, and she was just in The Complete Unknown. You got Callum Turner, who you just saw in Eternity. I don't know much about him. Bobby Cannavale's in it. Molly Ringwald's in it. LeVar Burton. It's Maya Hawke. It's got a weird cast. It was also directed by Will Gluck, who he did Anyone But You. He did Easy A. He did Friends with Benefits. He did Fired Up, which we love. Yeah. I'm not going to mention the other Annie movie, but I tend to like most of his movies. And I like his comedies that he makes, and based on kind of the kind of like I said, the up and coming cast and the concept of it, it sounds fun to me. So I made it to my list.
Has there been a trailer for this yet?
Oh no, there's been nothing.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't recall seeing a trailer for it yet. No. All right, yeah, that's like you're going young, and then you go Molly Ringwald and LeVar Burton. I'm like, what? Okay.
I'm sure I'm sure they're all just supporting cast, but the main two.
Oh yeah. It's just, I wasn't prepared. Like I'm like listening for young cast, like trying to go, okay, and then from this and then Molly Ringwald.
Well, that's when I was looking. I don't recognize anybody else as like young cast, so I'm figuring it must be some of these names I'm not familiar with, or maybe there's more people that have not been listed yet because it's still very little information on this movie. So
gotcha. My number 26, I'm pretty sure is not on your list, and it is probably going to be my first or earliest anticipated film of the year, and that is Mercy.
It did not make my list, although it was close. It was close.
Yeah. If you guys have been gone to theaters in the last month, you probably have seen this trailer already. It stars Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson. Basically, we're in almost like a Minority Report-esque kind of world. I mean, they're not like preceptors where they're predicting murder, but basically if you get arrested for, I don't know if it's every crime, but definitely if you're arrested for a murder, you basically are put in this chair and you have to basically defend yourself or defend your case against an AI judge, and you have was it like an hour or 2 hours or something
it's
like
that.
that.
90 minutes or something like that. Yeah.
Or probably the length of the movie. And you have to solve the case and prove your innocence in that time and they give you everything that you ask for in terms of evidence that they have, so you can try to solve the case for yourself, or you get executed right there on the spot. Chris Pratt plays one of the first cops who kind of like came up with this or ran this, and he's being accused of killing his wife, and he basically has to solve the murder or be murdered himself. And the reason why this is intriguing, outside of just that concept already, because Rebecca Ferguson and Chris Pratt are two people that I enjoy. This is probably the first movie outside of Avatar that as I was watching the trailer, I go, this is made for 3D. Like the way the screens were popping through and stuff like that in the trailer, I'm like, this honestly is probably going to be amazing in 3D based off of the visuals that I see. And that's why I'm most excited for this. Obviously, I love a good mystery movie. And Minority Report is one of my favorite Spielberg films. But this with Ferguson, even though she's probably not going to be as charismatic as she normally is, because she's basically playing an AI kind of bot in it. And Chris Pratt clearly is not going to be jokey Chris Pratt in this. He's literally trying to, he just lost his wife and he's trying to solve this case before he gets murdered. So this is going to be more serious Chris Pratt, which I'm actually very intrigued by and really want to see. But it's just the concept and how everything is being done. And like I said, this 3D potential aspect for this, I actually am really intrigued by this. And this comes out in, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah. I think it's been on sale today, actually. I think so.
Oh, they went on sale today. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I think it's the 16th when this comes out. So one of mine is going to come out really freaking early. So, but yeah, I'm intrigued by this one.
All right, my number 20. What are we on? 6?
Yeah.
My number 26 is Matchbox. Yes, it is based on the toy line, supposedly. So Matchbox, it's an action movie. I'll read you the part of this thing. After completing a high-risk mission, Sean returns to his hometown for a long-awaited reunion with his childhood friends. What begins as a nostalgic get-together turns into a dangerous adventure when they're framed for a failed mission and kidnapped, and blah, 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 goes on from there. So it stars John Cena, Jessica Biel, Denai Guerrera, Sam Richardson, Corey Stoll, Teyana Paris. Great cast. But what jumped out to me and what puts it immediately on my list is it's directed by Sam Hargrave. Former stuntman, former stunt coordinator Sam Hargrave, who went on to make Extraction and Extraction 2. So he can fucking do action awesome. Put him in a movie like this, it's vehicular action. I cannot wait to see what this thing looks like.
How now, the hell again, did I not hear about this one?
Yeah, I think I heard at some point they were making a Matchbox movie and I rolled my eyes and ignored it. And then when I was doing my research, getting ready for this, making these lists, I saw his name on it. I'm like, whoa, that just changed my interest completely.
This would 100% be on my list.
Yeah.
But I did not know this existed. When you said Matchbox, I'm like, so Fast and the Furious? Because that's basically Matchbox cars right there. But no, that cast is great. And Sam Hargrave is directing. I mean, you guys know how I feel about Extraction 2, which I thought was just one of the best action films. Like, not in terms of like story, but in terms of the action, it's one of the best action films ever made. And given that cast and obviously kind of almost like probably more of a Fast and Furious approach, hell yeah, I'm there for that.
The only thing holding me back, like just based on what I have so far, this could be like top 20 for me. But the only thing that holds you back is the fact that it is based on Matchbox toy lines. It's like, how much are they going to going to keep everything PG-13 in the action, which can be fine with vehicular action, that could work. But it's like, I don't know the tone of the movie, and I want to make sure that they're not making this as like aimed towards younger audiences or anything. But I don't know that. But it's at least going to be on my list. I just didn't know where to put it.
When Sam Hargrave directing, I can find it very hard to believe that it's not going to be an action, like, I don't want to say serious, but I feel like it's not going to be a comedy. I don't know how he would direct the comedy.
I don't think it'd be outright comedy. I think if anything would be like an action comedy, like a Heads of State kind of thing, maybe. But yeah, I don't know enough about it to put it that high on my list, but I definitely wanted to put it on my list. So.
Oh yeah, like I said, if I had known this movie existed, it would be on my list 100%. My number 25, I mentioned during our best films of the year as something that I was already looking forward to, and now it's coming up to it, and that is GOAT. Sony Animation, same people behind Spider-Verse, K-pop Demon Hunters. Is this on your list, by the way?
It was not, but it's one I considered.
Okay. Because I was already going into it. I was like, wait, I didn't ask.
I almost feel like this will end up on my favorite surprises of the year. Because I saw a trailer and I hope it's good. I'm not as into animated films, especially the animated sports films, kind of thing. But based on Sony Animation, I gotta at least pay attention to it. So.
I remember when they first announced this movie, I rolled my eyes too, because it was like GOAT, but it's an actual goat playing basketball. I was like, ugh. And the lead is Caleb McLaughlin, who people will know as Lucas from Stranger Things, but it's animated, so you literally won't know it's Lucas until you read the damn credits at the end of the movie. And I was just like, okay, basketball, it's a GOAT, whatever. But then they released the actual legit trailer, and this looks insane. And I mean that in like the best possible way. The visuals and the animation of this film look just awe-inspiring. And just watching that trailer, could the story suck? Sure. But I feel like as long as this animation kills it, which it looks like it's going to, because Sony Animations, like I said, has just been hitting like 1,000 lately, the story does not have to be that amazing for me to love this movie. So based off of what I saw in that trailer, if you guys haven't checked it out, check it out, because it looks batshit crazy insane in a good way. It had to go on my list. And I think it comes out in the summer. So this is one of those that like literally can take that summer box office and rise up really huge. And it's going to go in theaters, so it's not going to be a Netflix or anything like that, like K-pop. But this is definitely one, based on the trailer, I had to put this on my list.
My 25 is it's not a sequel, it's not really a remake, but it's kind of a reimagining, I suppose, and that is Cliffhanger. From what I heard, this originally was being planned as a sequel, and they were going to have Stallone in there as like a mentor to the new characters, but it ended up being a whole separate thing. This is directed by Joan Colette Serra, who he did Carry On recently with Taron Egerton. He did Jungle Cruise. He did The Shallows. So he's also done like, Woman in the Yard and Orphan, so House of Wax. So he's a little all over the place. But the cast has Lily James is the main character in this movie. Pierce Brosnan plays her father. I don't really know the rest of the names of it. It's a weekend trip with a billionaire's son. Mountaineer Ray Cooper and his daughter Sydney are targeted by a gang of kidnappers. Their other daughter is still haunted by a past climbing accident, so it'll have probably the same opening as the original Cliffhanger. Witnesses the attack and escapes. To save her family, she must confront her fears and fight for survival. Basically the same thing, except instead of being, looking for money that was dropped in the mountains, there's an actual kidnapping plot involved. And Lily James is trying to save it would appear her father. And so
God, I would hope. It's not because he plays her father, but I really would love it if Pierce Brosnan was the bad guy.
Oh no, he's not. He's not. Unfortunately,
I would have much preferred it if Pierce Brosnan was the bad guy in this.
Pierce Brosnan does play a fun bad guy. I've seen him in a couple movies where he
Yes.
gets to do that, and he can really sink his teeth into it. But yeah, this one, it's like I like the original movie quite a bit. So I like the concept of it. Pierce Brosnan, I think, does not make enough movies anymore. I think I wish he did more, and I'm worried that he'll start doing more of those like straight to video stuff. 'Cause he's done a couple of those.
Hey, you didn't watch him this year in my surprise fave Thursday Murder Club. He's great in that.
I did watch that.
Did you watch
I watched it day one when it dropped.
Oh, I thought you didn't watch it because it wasn't on your list or anything. You thought
It didn't make my best of list, but I liked it.
Okay. Yeah, he's good in it too.
Yeah, he's good in it. And I love Lily James.
Yeah,
especially when she gets out of the bodices and stops doing, period dramas and things like that. But like she was great in Pam and Tommy. I love her in this. Relay I didn't love with her and Riz Ahmed, but I thought she was very good in it, and well, Riz was too, but she was excellent. So I'm really looking forward to this movie.
Yeah, she was great in Yesterday until they made her character just like the most hateful character in the movie because it's like, you give up on your dreams to be with me. It's like, fuck you. But other than that, I loved her in it. Yeah, I did not have this on my list because I think I've always was fond of Cliffhanger, and then I went back and watched it, I think like a year or two ago. I'm like, this is not as good as I remember. So it's like one of those where it's like, I'm not generally excited. I'm going to watch it. Like, I'm going to watch it. But I'm not like excited for this, and I want to be wrong, and I want it to be like that was actually really fucking cool. But I like that director. And you say House of Wax like it was a bad thing, but I enjoyed House of Wax. But
that was also so early in his career, though. It's
it was. But come on, he killed Paris Hilton. That was perfect. But yeah, I will check it out, but I'm not going in with high expectations for it. My next one, I believe, comes out also relatively soon. If not January, it's in February. And that is Netflix's The Rip. Is that on your list?
It did not make my list. It was very close. It was going to be an honorable mention for the longest time. It did not make my top list.
It's directed by Joe Carnahan, who did, The Gray, A-Team, Smoking Aces, Cop Shop, Boss Level, which Brian and I both loved. So, I mean, he's definitely got a good eye for, action in certain points. But basically the synopsis is after a team of Miami cops discover millions in cash inside a derelict stash house, trust phrase as everything and everyone is called into question. And it stars Matt Damon and Ben Affleck with Tiana Taylor, Kyle Chandler, Stephen Yeun, Scott Atkins. It's got a great cast with it. But mainly it's got the boys. It's got Affleck and Damon. And they're kind of like maybe dirty cops. And I really am intrigued. The trailer was interesting. And I kind of really, really, really want to see where this goes. And because it's on Netflix, I hope it's one of the good ones and not one of the Netflix ones. Which we say that Netflix has dominated our best ofs for like the last 4 years. But this is one, because it's earlier, it makes me a little worried. But based off the director and the cast and kind of the grittiness of the trailer of it, I am super intrigued by this.
Yeah, I love Joe Carnahan movies. Whether it be A-Team or Boss Level, which we both loved, Smoking Aces. I really love Joe Carnahan and how he does action. It's always very gritty and dirty and a lot of, not necessarily the most wholesome characters, which is the kind of like to watch. Honestly, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are kind of the things that held it back a little bit for me. Because it's like both of those actors I've liked very much in a lot of things, but they've also had a lot of misses for me. So and to see them together again, it's, I guess, a good thing, but it also could be just kind of gimmicky to put them back together again. I don't know. But the trailer looks good. I'm looking forward to it. It does come out January 16th. I just looked that up.
Same day as Mercy. So I got
Mercy's actually the 23rd, the following week.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But actually the same day as The Rip, there are about 7 other movies coming out in theaters though. But we'll talk about some of those later. But so this is one I'm definitely looking forward to, definitely anticipating, which wasn't the most anticipated. And you're like, really? You put some other shit above this? I know you're thinking it, but it's okay.
For The Rip?
Yeah.
No. It's fine.
My next one, I'm curious if this is one you've heard of or not. It's called Whale Fall. Heard of this movie?
Whale Fall?
Whale Fall. F-A-L-L. Whale Fall.
This isn't the Orca movie, is it?
No, that's called Killer Whale, I think. This one I first heard about because I was watching an interview with Josh Brolin, and he was talking about this movie's doing Whale Fall. It's a scuba diver in search of his deceased father's remains, gets swallowed by an 80-foot, 60-ton sperm whale, and has only 1 hour to escape before his oxygen runs out. After giving up on life, the young man is surprised to find a reason to live in the most dangerous and unlikely of places. Austin Abrams is actually the lead in this movie. Also has Josh Brolin, Elizabeth Shue, Jane Levy, Emily Rudd, John Ortiz. Which it sounds like an intriguing premise. It's not like something I would watch, but wouldn't make the top of my list until I saw it was directed by Brian Duffield, who did No One Will Save You. This is his first film since then, and that alone is enough to put it high on my anticipated list. Well, higher than you would think. It's still in the 20s. But based on him directing it, and I believe wrote it too. Yeah, well, it's adapted from a book, but he wrote the script. I'm very intrigued to see how they make this movie of whatever 90 minutes inside a whale. I want to know what they're going to do with this movie. And I'm so intrigued to see what this movie is going to be. The first trailer will decide if I was right to put it on this list or if it should not be on here. I don't know.
Once you described it, I was like, okay, I've heard this. I've heard of this. I didn't know what it was called. You had me until Austin Abrams because I have not been that crazy about him and what I've seen him in. I had to look him up, and as soon as I was like, oh, that guy? Like,
he's been hit and miss for me, but I really liked him in Wolves.
He was the guy that they were chasing the whole time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he was okay in that. And then, like I said, in Weapons, he was the junkie, which I thought was every time he was on screen, he was taking me out of the movie.
He did good. I think the right. This will lose half our audience here. I thought the writing of Weapons was the worst part of it, but I liked him in it. So whatever.
I mean, like I said, he wasn't bad in it, but he just felt like he was in a totally different movie than what Weapons was trying to say. Okay, yeah, that'll be interesting. We'll see where we go from there. Like I said, we'll see. Wait until the trailer pops out for that one. My number 23. I believe this has been on my anticipated for the third consecutive year now. This is like my Toxic Avenger. Like, is this ever going to fucking come out? And that is Flower Vale Street.
Oh,
Flower Vale Street.
I'm glad you put that on there because I struggled with that one. That was all over kind of the bottom half of my list, and I finally got bumped off by a couple things. But I'm glad we can talk about it. So,
but yeah, this is a movie, like I said, it's been on my list for 3 years now. And basically the synopsis is a family in the 80s start to notice bizarre happenings in their neighborhood. It's rumored to be a time travel film involving dinosaurs, which right there, hello, you know who I am. But the main reason why that this is on here, besides the dinosaur aspect, this is starring Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor, two actors that I absolutely love and adore, and I will pretty much watch anything that those two are in. The only hesitation I've got is the director, which is David Robert Mitchell. He did the It Follow films. Well, It Follows, and then now he's going to be doing They Follows. I am not a fan of how he directed that movie. And that is the only hesitation that I've got to make me go, I hope that was just kind of like that film he shoots like that, because there were so many things in that movie that was direction-wise that pissed me off. It wasn't necessarily the stupid-ass plot, because that's just what the plot is, but it was more how he directed that film and how he chose to do certain things in that movie that irked me. So that is literally the one thing that's kind of making me go, I want to be excited for this, but I don't know if this guy's one of those directors that I'm going to really get behind.
Let me ask you this. Have you seen Under the Silver Lake?
No, I have not.
It's like a kind of a modern film noir set in Los Angeles. And I didn't watch that for the longest time because it's A24, so I avoided it. Starring Andrew Garfield. I watched it. It was my favorite, first time watch, of non-releases of that year. I really enjoyed that film. I say, check that one out. It might restore your faith in him. I don't know. You might hate it.
Is he still going to try to make it all look like it's in the 80s? Which, granted, this movie's supposed to be in the 80s, so it saves his ass. But that was the problem that pissed me off about It Follows, is everything's 80 aesthetic, but then here's a fucking character with a fucking like Apple not an iPhone, but like a fucking
yeah, he did this. He did that thing where he wanted to be inspired by 80s style, but he wanted to be ambiguous as to when it actually takes place.
Yeah, that shit pisses me off. That
yeah,
really,
no, I don't remember if in Under the Silver Lake is. I want to say it's just modern times, but it's not. Okay. It's not doing that kind of thing. No.
All right. Which, granted, Flower Vale Street's going to be in the 80s, so he kind of has a pass on that. But like I said, I'm hesitant, but because it's dinosaurs and Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor, I have to put it on my list for the third fucking year in a row. We'll see if it actually comes out this year. But yeah.
And I believe
What's the next
produced
one?
by J.J. Abrams. I'm not sure about that.
Well, if he had more of his hands in it, then I would like. Then maybe I'd like it a little bit more. But who knows?
All right, my next one is a movie I didn't know was going to exist until about a month ago, maybe, and it's called Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. This is a movie starring Zoe Deutsch, also including John Hamm, John Slattery, Ben Wang, and then basically the entirety of the MTV's The State, because it is directed by David Wayne and written by him and Ken Marino. Basically, let me get the description of this back up here. Basically, I clicked away from it to look up Flowervale Street, and then here it is. Okay. A Midwestern bride-to-be, Gail Daughtry, that's Zoe Deutsch, has a celebrity hall pass agreement with her fiance, who uses it. Their relationship's in crisis. Gail sets out on an epic journey through Hollywood to even the scales. So basically, it's a comedy from the guys from The State, who, it's Thomas Lennon, Michael Ian Black, like I said, David Wayne, Ken Marino. I love that whole group. It's comedy written and directed by them. It stars Zoe Deutsch in the lead. It's kind of comedy, probably a little bit romantic comedy, but the State guys tend to do more broad comedies. And based on just what I know about it so far, just what I learned about it this past month, it made my list.
Are we under the assumption that John Hamm is her husband or playing himself and she's going to try to hook up with John Hamm?
No, you know what? I don't really see anybody that's seems to be her age range. So I'm wondering, well, there's this one guy called Michael Cassidy listed. I don't know who he is. But everybody else, like the State guys, are all way too old. John Hamm seems like he's too old for her. So I'm wondering if maybe he was the celebrity sex pass. I don't know. Or the one that she's trying to go, but the one that I think it might be the one she's trying to go sleep with to even out because her fiance used his sex pass.
I just looked up Michael Cassidy. I know him from TV. I like the guy. So but I feel like I've heard the synopsis. I just didn't know what the title was. Because I know I had heard about Zoe Deutsch trying to go hook up with a Hollywood actor because of a sex pass. I just didn't know that was the title. Probably would have tightened that title up a little bit because it's a little long, but you know us, we love Zoe Deutsch. So, I mean, we're both going to watch. I think the only Zoe Deutsch movies we didn't watch was that French one that came out last year, which supposedly is really good. But
I'm still tempted to watch it because it is Zoe Deutsch and Richard Linklater. I do like about half of his movies. But it's like I just so don't care about French New Wave. So it's like, I don't know.
And right now, I'm already sick and tired of seeing John Hamm because of that meme going around with him from whatever that fucking show is where he's doing this thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Good for you. Good for you. The problem is I live with people who constantly are on TikTok and all this stuff, and I get like 80 of them sent a day, and most of it's this John Hamm thing where he's like feeling the music in a club. I think it's Love Island or some shit like that. I don't know. But I'm so sick and tired of looking at his fucking face right now. My number 22 is I'm gonna say it's not on your list, but if it is, okay, cool. And that's The Bride.
Did not make my list, although I am intrigued.
Yeah. It's Maggie Gyllenhaal, who I think we both like. She's directing the film, starring Jessie Buckley, Christian Bale, and Jake Gyllenhaal, also with Peter Skarsgård, Annette Bening, and Penelope Cruz. So great cast here. There's actually more people in it as well, but I'm not going to name everybody. But basically, it's the Bride of Frankenstein, and Christian Bale's playing Frankenstein, and I actually really like his design. But at least from what I could decipher from the trailers, it looks, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how I felt when watching it. It looks like it's Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein meets Bonnie and Clyde, and I'm actually really fucking there for that, especially with Maggie Gyllenhaal directing. It just looks insane, and like I said, Bonnie and Clyde was kind of the concept that I got with it, and I think it was really intriguing and something that looks really cool.
Yeah, and parts of it almost look like I don't want to say steampunk, but I do like that they've transplanted it from like whatever Frankenstein takes place in like the 1800s or whatever. This is like 1930s Chicago. So I'm kind of intrigued to see it. And the trailer looked good. I like the tone of the trailer. So if the movie matches that tone, I think I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those that, like, yes, it might be overtly artsy or an Oscar baiting movie that won't get any Oscars by the end of the year. But like I said, the trailer did enough to make me go, and that's good enough for me to get on my list. All right, what's your next one?
My next one, I think, is going to shock a ton of people that it's this low on my list and that it's not on Sean's list, especially if you look at some of the things behind Sean, and that is Disclosure Day. This is Steven Spielberg's new film, which we didn't know a title for, even much less a trailer or anything, up until
It was
4
called
weeks
The
ago.
Dish for like the longest time.
Well, it was untitled Spielberg, and then Letterboxd had it listed as The Dish, although I don't think that was ever like announced that, so I'm not sure where that came from. Maybe it was a working title, I don't know. But it came out called Disclosure Day, and I was like, okay, Steven Spielberg. It's got Emily Blunt. It's got Josh O'Connor, who I really liked his performance in Wake Up Dead Man, even if I didn't love the movie. Colin Firth, Eve Hewson. I think I only know from that really bad Robin Hood movie with Taron Egerton. Coleman Domingo, Wyatt Russell's in this. Because Steven Spielberg always puts together great casts, and obviously just being Spielberg is enough, really, to make it anticipated by me and Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Then we saw the trailer. It's I mean, I'm still going to see it. I'm still looking forward to it because it is a new Steven Spielberg movie. But Steven Spielberg in the past, I don't know, 10, maybe even 20 years, has probably put out more stuff I didn't love than stuff I did. You know, started doing more of The Post and The Bridge of Spies and Warhorse and the BFG. And it's like, he just seems to have moved on to like a different part of his career. I mean, I still like when he puts out something, you know, like Ready Player One or West Side Story. But this looks more like, you know, this looks closest, I think, of his filmography to like Minority Report, just in terms of its tone, the look of it, the style. And I don't know if I'm going to love it. I think it'll be a movie that will probably be very well made, obviously, Steven Spielberg, but I'm not excited about it. I'm going to see it, but I'm not excited. But it's still on my list. It's just low.
Before the trailer came out, this was number 12 on my list because of the cast. And Eve Hewson, I know her from I want to say it was Cinemax or Showtime show, The Nick with Clive Owen. She was like the number 2 on that, and I watched that whole show when it was on. So I know her from that.
She was just in Jay Kelly. I don't remember her in Jay Kelly. Anyway, sorry.
It's she might be the daughter. No, she's not the daughter. I can't remember who she was in Jay Kelly, and we just watched that. But either way, I was excited for this because, like I said, the cast looks great, and it's Steven Spielberg, and he's hands down one of my favorite directors of all time. Even though I don't always like or agree with some of his movies, he still has 2 of my favorite films of all time with Jaws and Jurassic Park. So this was high on my list. I remember Brian saw the trailer before me, and he said that he didn't see it as something that exciting. I was like, sometimes we don't see eye to eye on trailers. But then I watched it, and I think I was literally losing my attention span on it about a minute in. And so
from the beginning, it just kind of went down.
Yeah, it dropped all the way to 33 for me. But like I said, we're only doing the top 30. So it's one of those where I want to so badly be wrong about this and have it be amazing. But that first trailer literally just, like I said, it dropped 21 spots for me as soon as that trailer came out. So you're just hoping they either come out with a second trailer that makes it look better, or they don't, and I go in with low expectations and it blows me away. I'm actually hoping for that over another trailer. But yeah. My number 21, we've gotten a trailer for already, and that is Project Hail Mary. Now the trailer is
I have that higher. Yeah.
You have that higher? Okay, then we'll talk about that later. I thought it wasn't going to be on your list, so okay.
No. My next one might be on your list. If so, it's higher than I expected it, but I think you'll look forward to this. Send Help.
It was in my like 34, 35 range.
Oh, okay. So yeah. Send Help also coming out very soon. I want to say it's the end of January. I think
it's the last week. It's like the 30th. Yeah,
this is Sam Raimi returning to not really horror, but like thriller kind of territory. This is Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien are the main leads. They're essentially going to be, I think, the only cast. Like this in the beginning, I think you'll see some other people, but it's mainly the 2 of them stuck on an island. She's his employee, who he just abuses and treats like shit. And then when they crash and he's injured, she has to basically take care of him, and also she's in charge, and the whole dynamic changes. And it becomes this game of, power and who's going to do what to who. It looks, if you told me about just the Sam Raimi and the cast, I'd be interested. But I saw the trailer for it, and it actually made me far more interested in this because I think it looks like it's got, definitely got some tension and some good thriller moments to it. But it also looks like it has a little bit of sense of humor that Sam Raimi always puts into his films. I like Rachel McAdams. Rachel McAdams is somebody who tends to do a lot of stuffy dramas, and whether it be period things or even like modern, journalist dramas, things like that. So when she gets to go and just do something fun like this, that's when I really enjoy her quite a bit. And Dylan O'Brien, I know he's one of your favorites. I enjoy him and stuff, and I like seeing him here playing. Well, until Anniversary, I'd say a very different character he ever played before, but he's kind of playing an asshole like he was in Anniversary, so it kind of all works out.
See, the thing is that Dylan O'Brien always plays an asshole, but he's a charming asshole. He's a lovable asshole. So he totally always plays that character. Except this one, he doesn't look like he's lovable at all. He's just a prick. Yeah. But I saw the trailer for it. Obviously, like I said, I love Dylan O'Brien. He's one of my faves. And then of course, Rachel McAdams. I agree with you. When she actually is doing comedy or action or something where she can sink her teeth into, she's so much more fun to watch than when she's doing like The Notebook or prestigious films or anything like that. Not that she's not good in those either. It's just it's not the Rachel McAdams that I like to watch. I for some reason did not know this was Sam Raimi, and maybe that's why the trailer felt off to me, because I wasn't looking.
He has a very specific tone to him. Yeah.
And because I remember watching, I was like, well, yeah, in theory, I really want to see this, but man, something just seems off about the trailer that wasn't like gripping me as much as I'd like, and it might have been like the like kind of how where Rachel McAdams' character goes in the trailer, but now that I know it's Sam Raimi, I'm like, that actually makes a lot more fucking sense now, and maybe it would have gone back up my list because of that. I'm definitely gonna be watching it. Like, I'm definitely checking it out, but it was more the trailer, like the execution of the trailer didn't really like wow me as much as I was hoping for, and I was like, oh, it's a January movie, maybe that's why. So yeah,
I like the concept. I think we described the concept of it after we saw the trailer as like 6 Days, 7 Nights meets Misery. So
except not because she's like in love with him, because she fucking despises his ass. My number 20 might be on your list. This is one of those where we're now entering, like, at least for me, like the next like 6 or 5 to 6 movies is director or a cast alone kind of thing. I really don't have a whole lot to go on, and this might be on your list. As of right now, I don't know if this is the title, but this is what Letterboxd is calling it, and it's called Outcome.
Okay, not on my list, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm just gonna go off of what it said. It's called Outcome right now. It might not be, like I said, Steven Spielberg's was The Dish, and then it changed to Disclosure Day. So all I can go off of is Outcomes, directed by Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill's direction, haven't loved it yet, but this looks like the first one that I could maybe really sink my teeth into. And the synopsis is: when a troubled Hollywood star is extorted using a mysterious video clip from his past, he must confront his demons and make amends. Now, here's the reason why. Because I'm pretty sure that movie star is Keanu Reeves. And that right there has me intrigued to the max. Rest of the cast, you got Jonah Hill, Cameron Diaz, Matt Bomer, David Spade, who I actually always enjoyed, and Laverne Cox. Some people can take her or leave her. I like her. And also Martin Scorsese is in it. Maybe probably playing himself. They don't have anything for his cast list yet, but if the lead actor in this movie, like the movie star, is Keanu, I really, really am intrigued to see what this movie is. And it's because it's Keanu potentially that has it all the way up at 20 for me. It's not more the Jonah Hill aspect of it, it's the Keanu aspect, but it also could be Cameron Diaz. We don't know. But it sounds like it's going to be more Keanu Reeves, and that's the reason why it's number 20 on my list.
I just want to say we're now a third of the way through, because we've done the bottom 10 of each of our lists. I like how little we've had overlap. I'm sure in the top we're going to have a lot more overlap, but we've had so many different movies we got to talk about here. I'm saying that.
Yeah, we're gonna start once we start getting a little bit tighter. We're gonna start getting a lot more overlap. So.
Oh, it's gonna be 90% overlap towards the top. It's just a matter of position.
We're just gonna keep. Yeah. We're talking about that later. We'll talk about that later. Just keep going.
So the first part of the show is gonna go very slow. The second half is gonna go very fast because we're gonna be like skip. Okay.
Yeah.
My number 20 is a movie called Over Your Dead Body. There was a movie. It's on Netflix called The Trip, which is I'm trying to remember the guy's name. I'm sorry, I was not prepared for this. It's a movie called The Trip, where basically these dysfunctional couple, it says, heads to a remote cabin to reconnect, but each of them secretly has intentions to kill the other one. And I watched this the other one's a foreign version of it. It's being remade now as an American film. It's definitely a comedy. It's kind of like not really action thriller comedy, because like they go and plan to kill each other, but then there's also these other people show up that are basically, I don't know if they're going to rob the house or murder somebody, and so the two of them, even though they hate each other, are trying to fight back against.
This sounds familiar, but you need to tell me the cast before I can finally attach it to my brain.
Yeah. Well, it's being directed by Jorma Taccone from Lonely Island, who we did, of course, MacGruber, Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping. Starring as the main couple, Jason Segel and Samara Weaving. Also has Timothy Olyphant, who I believe is probably one of the intruders who comes in and messes things up. Juliette Lewis, who, I don't think she's a great actress, but she does Psycho pretty well. I don't think she's acting half the time. But yeah, this, but yeah, it's like based on the director and cast, I would be already interested in it, especially when you add Timothy Olyphant in there. But having seen the original, and I enjoyed it, because I don't remember the main guy in it in the original one is like the main villain in the new Sisu movie, like the Nazi guy, and the wife is Noomi Rapace from like Dragon Tattoo and Prometheus and some of these things.
Stephen Lang?
No.
Isn't Stephen Lang the main bad guy in the latest Sisu?
He's. Oh, am I thinking of the first Sisu? I don't recall.
I was like, Stephen Lang's 100% the main bad guy in the sequel. So.
I mean, I think he's not the main one. He might be like the main henchman, because he's like the guy that like has the tank at the beginning of.
I was saying, like, how do you not know Stephen Lang?
I'm sorry, one of the villains in it. He's not Stephen Lang, but it's like one of the, like his top other villain. I think.
His top henchman.
Yeah, and Noomi Rapace is in the original. I'd say check that one out. It's not a perfect movie, but I think having seen that and knowing that's basically the template for this one, and with the talent involved, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, once you said Jason Segel and Timothy Olyphant, sold. I don't recall knowing this one at all, but you put those two people in it, I'm sold. Who was the wife?
In the new one, it's Samara Weaving.
Which obviously we love Samara Weaving. So
that's where I was confused. This guy was the guy from the Trip, original movie, was in the first Sisu. I watched them back to back, so I had them all convoluted in my mind.
I still haven't seen the second Sisu. So
and that original one was also done by Tommy Verkula, who is the guy who did Violent Night. He did Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters and some other stuff. So I like his tone. And this one's supposed to have the same kind of action comedy tone to it. So.
Gotcha. I feel like this next one will be on your list. If not, then I will go right into it. Right, I said, just like with the previous one, I can only go off what the title is currently on Letterboxd. This might not be the actual fucking title, but right now it is called Mayday.
I have that a couple spots higher at 17, but let's go ahead and knock it out now.
Okay.
This is so close. So.
Mayday is directed by Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly. They did Game Night, and they did another one.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Which I think I appreciate it more now than when it came out, but we both loved Game Night. But the synopsis is Lieutenant Troy. What's that?
I was gonna say they also wrote Spider-Man: Homecoming and Horrible Bosses and some other stuff that they wrote too. So
yeah, so they do some great writing stuff. The synopsis is Lieutenant Troy Brennan's reconnaissance mission over Soviet territory goes awry, forcing him to crash land and survive in a Russian wilderness while evading capture or rescue. Starring Ryan Reynolds, Kenneth Branagh, Mara Bakalova, and that's mainly the main three people right there. But like I said, Ryan Reynolds. I love Ryan Reynolds. I think Brian loves Ryan Reynolds as well. Maybe not as much as me. We both are high on Maria Bakalova. I think we both are like kind of waiting for her to kind of grow as well. And this maybe could be that movie. And Kenneth Branagh, you never know what you're going to get with him. So it's intriguing to see what we're going to get because he never.
I'm assuming he's like the Russian villain. I don't know this for sure.
So too.
Because he played Russian in Jack Ryan. So
he never plays the same character twice. So I'm intrigued to see where that goes. But like I said, those guys are, and that's the other thing too, is like because it's them, is it a comedy?
Well, that's I literally just now clicked on genres on Letterboxd, and it does say action adventure comedy. Which when I first started this movie, I assumed it was like a behind Emily Lyons kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, comedy. Obviously with Ryan Reynolds, but he's done serious stuff. But I'm curious to see now. Now I need to see a trailer to understand the tone of this movie.
Exactly, because it is just there's so many elements here that
Yeah.
I don't know what this movie's going to be, but it is intriguing as hell because of the concept, because of, obviously Ryan Reynolds, and then of course the, Goldstein and Francis Daly. So it's high enough for me. Like I said, we don't have a trailer. We don't even know if it's going to be called Mayday. So we can only go off of that. But it's enough to put it up at number 19 for me. And 17 for you?
That was my 17. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's I believe that's an Apple TV. Oh, it's going to go to theaters, but I think it's an Apple movie. So.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, 19. I have, you mentioned earlier, Scream 7, which this movie was all over my list. I mean, if you asked me, a couple of years ago, it'd probably be top 10 for me. And then they decided to drop all the talent we enjoyed in it, and so it plummeted down the list.
Everything that we've been building for the last 2 movies.
Yeah. Let's get rid of Melissa Barrera. Let's get rid of Jenna Ortega. Let's get rid of not only Radio Silence, but let's also get rid of the replacement Christopher Landon we were excited about. Let's just say fuck it. Let's just start, or not. I'm gonna say start, not start
even
over.
Start over from scratch.
Let's go back to the well. Let's go back to the people that we really wish they move on from.
This honestly feels more like Scream 5 than Scream 5 did.
It does. It does, because I mean, you're bringing back Neve Campbell, which I liked her in the Scream movie she's in. I kind of feel like we should move on from her. Courtney Cox is back yet again.
She's never bad in any of them. It's just we had moved on. And so it's not like Jamie Lee Curtis with Halloween, where it's like, okay, yeah, but the Halloween movies have sucked. So bringing her back is going to actually, boom. The Scream movies were working with this new cast. And, yeah, you have Courtney Cox in there, who should have died like 2 fucking movies ago with Dewey. Yeah, and all this stuff. So now it's just, okay, and then, but I will say this, though. The trailer intrigued me. It definitely intrigued me. Did it intrigue you? Because I don't think we really talked about it.
It didn't move the needle up or down for me. It kind of stayed right where it was.
I will say this, though. The actress who plays her daughter, Tatum, which, yes, I see the little tip of the hat that she named her daughter after Rose McGowan's character from the first Scream movie. Isabel May, she's more of a TV actress. I like her. So this is one of those where I'm like, good for her. I really actually want to. I hope she does really
the cast I love. You have her. You have McKenna Grace, Joel McHale, Ethan Embry, who I love, Jimmy Tatro, who's usually pretty fun. It's got a great cast. It's just a matter of, I feel like we're just going backwards instead of moving on forward. And then especially, like, I know that they have Matthew Lillard is in this movie now. It's like
not just Matthew Lillard. You got Matthew Lillard, Scott fucking Foley, and David Arquette.
So it's like, are they flashbacks? Are people seeing visions like Melissa Barrera's character was? We don't know where they're going with it. You did bring back Kevin Williamson to write it. He's also directing it, but the only thing he's directed before is Teaching Mrs. Tingle, which was passable but wasn't great. So I'm like,
let's put it this way: this is not going to be the last we're going to be talking about Scream 7. Brian and I we have both invested, much like Jurassic World, Rebirth. We have invested too much time into Scream 7 to not continue to talk about this ad nauseum for you guys, even if you guys don't want to fucking hear it or not. I will say, though, like I said, the trailer looked intriguing. But then again, I think it's always gonna look intriguing to us. It's never gonna not. But like I said, I like the cast. Apparently, from what I've assumed, if I'm just guessing, knowing Scream, McKenna Grace is going to be the victim in the first 15 minutes of the movie. Joel McHale looks like he's going to be Neve Campbell's husband. Everyone thought it was going to be Patrick Dempsey because they're the same name, but Patrick Dempsey, I guess, just didn't fucking want to come back. So I don't know if Joel McHale's playing him and it's just recast, or if it's going to be a different dude with the same name. Who the fuck knows? But I said Isabel May, she's definitely one that I'm going to be anticipating to see what she does. Jimmy Tatro, I think he's hilarious. So I'm excited to see what he does in this. Zoe Deutsch's husband. Yeah, I wanted to do well, but you know what? I was really excited to see the story we were going to get in Scream 7 before everything happened, because it literally was going to go exactly where you and I thought it should have gone 2 movies earlier, which was basically Melissa Barrera was going to go full Ghostface in Scream 7 because of Skeet Ulrich's ghost. At least that's what Skeet says. I guess we can only take what Skeet says, with whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still looking forward to this. We're obviously going to check it out. I refuse to let myself get too excited about it because it's, like I said, I feel like a step backwards and not where I wanted to go with it. But yeah, we'll see.
So that was your 18?
That was my 19. So we're on 18.
That was your 19. Okay, my 18. I lost my list here because I went down to where Scream was.
Same thing I did.
Okay, once again, this is another one. This might be the title, might not be the title. I'm only going off of what it says here. And that is In the Gray, directed by Guy Ritchie.
If it comes out.
Yeah, if it comes out.
It was on my list last year. I think it was even supposed to come out the year before that. We'll see. But
it says 2026 right now. Is this on your list or did you take it off?
It's not on my list just because I'm not even sure if it's coming out. So
okay. Synopsis for this. Once again, Guy Ritchie. Guys, what happened to me? What happened to me? Why am I putting Guy Ritchie on my list?
Why don't you think about it instead of what happened to Guy Ritchie? They started making movies you liked. Think of it that way.
Yeah, except that he made one last year that I absolutely hated. So who knows? We'll see what happens. But the synopsis says 2 extraction specialists must plan an escape path for a high-level female negotiator. Cast: Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal. Got me right there. Rosamund Pike, which I'm assuming is the female negotiator, or Isa Gonzalez, who is Brian's favorite. Fisher Stevens, who I just talked about in Song Sung Blue. And other people, not necessarily big names, but people that I know from other stuff. Like I said, outside of what did Guy Ritchie make last year that pissed me off? I'm blanking on it now.
That pissed you off? I don't remember what he made last year. So he made Ministry of Unjumping the Warfare. I know he made that Covenant that you liked. I don't remember what he made after that. After those,
I gotta look it up real quick. It's gonna bug me. I loved both those movies. Of course, Letterboxd now wants to spin while I'm trying to click on Guy Ritchie.
This past year would have been Fountain of Youth. There you go.
Yeah, it was Fountain of Youth. I was like, we both hated that one. So, but Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal, that seems like a really good duo. So I actually really, really want to see how those two work together. And I like Rosamund Pike. I've liked her since, was it Die Another Day? I think that's what she was in with Pierce Brosnan. I've liked her since then. She's one of those that I don't feel like she was phenomenal in Gone Girl, but I feel like she doesn't do enough stuff for her to become like a big name. I feel like she does like one good movie every like 7 years, and then people forget about her. But yeah, like I say, Guy Ritchie outside of Fountain of Youth has had goodwill from me lately. So if this movie does come out, as Brian says, this year, that's definitely one that I'm going to be excited for.
Yeah, just looking at the latest updates, I don't know how accurate they are, saying that it was supposed to come out in January of last year. They decided it wasn't ready. They want to do some reshoots, but then since then, a different company bought up the distribution rights, and they're going to release it without the reshoots. Supposedly this year. We'll see.
That doesn't sound great.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, like I said, this is all with a grain of salt because I don't know the sources of this information. But
plus, it's also got Brian's girl in it, so he's going to be locked in no matter what.
I'll see it. She's definitely made some bad movies, but I'll at least see them just here.
Yeah. All right. What is your number 18?
My number 18 is from Tommy Vergala, Violent Night 2.
We are going to be talking about that later.
Okay.
Wow, you have it that low.
There's just a lot of good movies coming out. I want to see. Yeah.
I that's in my top 10. I'm just saying that right now. We got a little bit before we get to that. All right, my number is it 17? Yeah, my number 17 is one that you brought up earlier, and that is Digger. Mainly reasoning is I love this director. I can't say his name correctly to save my fucking life.
Alejandro González Iñárritu.
Yeah, I was gonna say his last name wrong. But this is a director that I love the way he shoots his films. Birdman was fantastic. Revenant, I appreciate the fuck out of it. It's just not a movie that I would ever watch again. Mm-hmm. But I really, really like how he shoots his films. I said this, I think when Revenant came out, I said if they ever were going to redo Saving Private Ryan or do a World War II movie where they want to do Omaha Beach again, he needs to be the director because the way he shoots battles and kind of everything is like a one shot. I want to see him do like a war epic. I think he'd be phenomenal at it. But basically, the synopsis for Digger. First off, it says a comedy of catastrophic proportions, and that's what immediately gets me right here, because I was like, I kind of want to see where this is going to go. But the synopsis is: the most powerful man in the world embarks on a frantic mission to prove he is humanity's savior before the disaster he's unleashed destroys everything. And it's starring Tom Cruise. That right there immediately locks me in. Rest of the cast that follows: you got John Goodman, Jesse Plemons, Emma D'Arcy, Michael Stuhlbarg, Riz Ahmed. There's a whole lot more in this, but yeah, this director with Tom Cruise, and it looks like it's like I'm assuming dark comedy. It's probably more gonna be like Birdman in terms of comedy approaches, but this director has so much goodwill because of what he's done with his last couple films, and then you add Tom Cruise to this, I have to see this, and that's why it's higher than probably Brian.
You know, I put it at number 30, my bottom spot, simply because it was going to be nowhere on my list originally, because Inarritu's not a director who is for me. You know, I didn't really like Birdman. I didn't care about Babel, 21 Grams, all these things. Revenant, like you, I thought was a well-made film. Probably never watch it again. You know, but it was definitely a well-made film. But I never really cared about him. I heard he's doing a movie with Tom Cruise. I'm like, okay, Tom Cruise can go do some fucking dramatic shit like The Revenant, like, you know, Leo did with him. So I really didn't care that much about it. Although I'm sure I would have seen it, I didn't care that much about it. Then this trailer, well, teaser comes out.
This is the only one I have not seen yet. I still have not seen the teaser for this yet.
Oh,
so.
The teaser was like, what the fuck am I? Because the teaser is basically just looking at a silhouette, like a shadow of a man, it's Tom Cruise, in like these oversized boots and a shovel, basically dancing around. And that's essentially the teaser. It doesn't tell you anything about the movie. Like the synopsis read nothing in the trailer.
Is he dancing to Ludacris?
No, I don't know what he's dancing to, but he's dancing around with a shovel, and I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? And then I realized, oh, that's Tom Cruise. This is that Inarritu movie, and it's enough to make me intrigued that I wanted to at least put it on my list. Although until I see more about it, like a full real trailer, I had to keep it like that, just that bottom spot, because I don't care about the director much. Tom Cruise I like, but he makes movies I like, and he makes movies I don't care about. You know, so he's all over the spectrum. But I've never seen a comedy from Inarritu, except Birdman is considered a comedy. I didn't really like Birdman, but this one looks a little goofier. So I'm again just from that teaser. So I'm anticipating it, but I couldn't put it any higher until I see what it's really going to be like.
It's not going to, but oh my god, if this movie ended up being about Les Grossman, it would shoot up to like top 5 for me.
It's not, but okay.
Because even with the synopsis here, it could totally be Les Grossman based off of that synopsis. It's not, but if it was, be like, oh, that'd be amazing. But yeah, that's my number 17, and then your 17.
I already went 17 was Mayday, so you can go again.
Okay, so my 16 I know is not going to be on Brian's list. But I like this franchise. I know Brian doesn't care about this franchise, and I was not excited for the last one, but the last one actually pleasantly surprised me. And then this one with the cast and basically what we're doing, I'm excited for, and that is The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping.
You know, I actually the last one I actually enjoyed more than the original ones.
Is that only because Rachel Zegler was in it?
Well, I do like her, but I also just like the music they put in it and kind of the tone of it, and also there's something about that original one just bothered me. The original run. So this is one I am anticipating, but did not make my list.
Yeah, Francis Lawrence is back directing. This cast is just great, and this is obviously the one that's taking place, I think, when for anyone who knows the original, this is like the
Woody Harrelson's character. I forget his name.
When Woody Harrelson's. It's when oh god, I'm blanking on his name. Hittrich or Hamish Abernathy. This is when he wins it. So spoilers, you know, he's obviously going to win, but it's like once you know it's Hamish, you know he's fucking winning because obviously Woody Harrelson's alive in the fucking original trilogy. But the cast, you got Joseph Zeta. He plays Hamish. I don't know him, but he hasn't really been in anything. Maybe TV stuff. I don't know, but I have not seen him in any of the movies. but he's going to be playing Woody Harrelson's character. You got McKenna Grace, Jesse Plemons, Ray Fiennes, Glenn Close, Ben Wang, many, many more. Maya Hawke, Elle Fanning, Kieran Culkin, Billy Porter. I mean, this is a great cast. And a lot of them are going to be playing people that we already know from the OG trilogy, just younger versions of it. And like I said, I really enjoyed the last one. I wasn't prepared to like it. I kind of watched it begrudgingly, and I was like, this is actually really good. So I
think that's what makes me less anticipating of this one is that they're saying, okay, this one ended, that one ended in this basically cliffhanger. And like, oh, we're not going to finish that story. Moving on to this story. I'm like, oh, come on.
I don't know if it necessarily ended in a cliffhanger. It was just more or less like we saw how Snow became Snow.
But what happens to Lucy?
She died. Come on, she's dead. But I'm glad that we're actually getting back to an actual Hunger Games. And knowing that we got this cast, I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to see the Hunger Games with this cast because this looks like a great cast. So I am actually pretty excited to see this one. Yeah.
All right, my next one. Where are we at? I'm at 16.
16.
The Social Reckoning. On your list?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's kind of a sequel to The Social Network. It's the next chapter of Facebook.
Oh no, it's not on my list. Now that you said that, okay, yeah.
So Aaron Sorkin, who wrote the original, it was directed by not the original, The Social Network, that was directed by David Fincher. This is Aaron Sorkin again writing, but he's also directing this time. Of course, he's done Molly's Game. He did the Trial of Chicago 7, so he can direct. I think his writing is stronger than his directing, but he's definitely got a talent to it. This is talking about basically kind of the next major part of the Facebook's existence, where there's like people like whistleblowing about how they track people and how they use the algorithms to keep people to get people essentially addicted to Facebook. It's so like The Social Network. If you saw the original synopsis, that you're like, who cares about the fucking creation of Facebook? How's this gonna make an exciting movie? And it was fucking awesome. Now, a lot of that was the writing, but a lot of it was also David Fincher's directing. So I don't know if we're gonna feel that puzzle piece missing in this one. It's going to definitely have a different feel than The Social Network, but the question is, will it be as good? I hope it will. The cast this time, Mark Zuckerberg's played by Jeremy Strong, who I like, but I don't love him. But then again, you're not supposed to like this character. I mean, you had Jesse Eisenberg, who nobody really likes in the first one, and because he's basically supposed to be an asshole, but a successful asshole.
I mean, his most iconic role.
Yeah, but the cast of this one, like Mikey Madison, I find mostly obnoxious.
So do I.
Jeremy Allen White, who I have nothing against, but I know a lot of people love him, and a lot of people really like him. Bill Burr is in it, apparently, Billy Magnuson. So I don't know much about this movie other than it is written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, which is enough to put it on my list somewhere, because I think his writing, he's one of the best writers out there, in my opinion. And the question is, what will the tone be and how will it measure up? Because it'll be compared to Social Network, rightfully or wrongfully. It'll be compared to it, which is a hard thing to do when you get David Fincher. It's a masterpiece. It's maybe one of the best films of the 2010s. So I don't know. We'll see how this one turns out.
Did you say Sorkin was directing this also, or no?
Yes, he's directing it.
Okay. Because didn't he do the Chicago
Trial of Chicago 7, Molly's Game, and that Being the Ricardos thing on
I mean, the Chicago one, that was one of my favorite films of the year when it came out.
It was a Best Picture nominee that year.
Yeah, I loved that movie. I thought the movie was fantastic. So not having Fincher is not like a shit kind of thing for me, but it's one of those where it's like, I'm not excited for it. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic, but I'm not like, woo! So yeah, it's like not on my list. Like, okay, I'll watch it. Like, I'm sure it's going to be great, but I don't really care. Right now, I won't.
The funny thing is, as much as I say, like, you shouldn't have to measure this up against The Social Network because that's being unfair to it. At the same time, the only reason it's on my list is because how great The Social Network was. So yeah,
exactly. So, my number 15 is 1,000% not on Brian's list, and if he says it is, he's a fucking liar. Because I know how much you hate these movies. So I know you're not, but because of the director, you might actually give it a chance. Mind.
Yeah.
You literally shit on this every time it's mentioned. But I have it on here because of the director. and that is The Exorcist, directed by Mike Flanagan.
Oh, that's my number 6.
Bullshit.
No, it's not.
I was like, fuck you. No, it's not. Look, we are both in agreement. The Exorcist is one of the most overrated horror films of all time, maybe even the most overrated horror film of all time. The best Exorcist movie, in my eyes, is The Exorcist of Emily Rose. His is probably The Pope's Exorcist. Unless there's another one that you like more.
I'm sorry.
That was a question.
Oh no, I looked this up and I'm not sure. There's as of like a few months ago, it says it was removed from the 2026 slate.
It's still listed as 20. Ah, shit, they just removed it. Well, I'm still going to talk about it. Fuck it. I mean,
Go ahead and talk about it, just in case.
Flowerbill Street was on my thing for 2 years running, so it's fucking Exorcist. There's the main reason I have this on my list is Mike Flanagan. Like I said, I love Mike Flanagan. I've loved everything he's done at different varying levels. But if there was ever, I think after the last Exorcist movie, which was a Believer? What was the last one? That one's a Peacock. I really wanted to give that one a shot, and it fucking sucked. And at that point, I was like, I'm never watching another Exorcist movie again. Like they're just horrible. The franchise is bad. Heck, the TV show is better than the fucking movies, and the TV show was only passable. But you guys did the one thing that made me come right back to it, and that's you got Mike Flanagan. Mike Flanagan to me is one of, if not in the top 2 or 3 best horror directors going today. And I gotta see how he does this. He does great with ghosts. I mean, Dr. Sleep is, I feel, is criminally underrated. I feel like a lot of people love it, but no one wants to praise it like me and Brian do. But Dr. Sleep is one of my favorite films that in the last decade. But I have to see how he does this. And now he's added Scarlett Johansson to this. And the synopsis that they have for right now is...
Well, I think the story and things haven't changed. It's just he said, I can go into it later, but he just said it's not going to be ready in time. But the story and everything is still the same. Yeah. Yeah,
the synopsis still, as of right now, is a small-town rookie detective takes on a case involving inconceivable darkness. I'm assuming Scarlett Johansson is the detective. So I'm here for that. The only other cast member is a little boy that I haven't really seen in anything. I'm assuming that's the possessed person. But you have ScarJo, who I like in a lot of things more than Brian. But like I said, this is mainly because I want to see what Mike Flanagan does with this. And whether it comes out this year or not, it's on my list. But like I said, as long as Flanagan is attached, much like we were with Christopher Landon with Scream 7, if Flanagan leaves this project, then fuck this movie. I'm not watching it. It is only because Flanagan is on this project that I care about this movie.
You know, it's 100% going to be Flanagan. He basically said, like in early last year, he's like, there's no way I'm going to have this movie ready for next March when it was scheduled, because they still haven't even started production yet. They had to finish Carrie and then something else. And then later, towards the end of last year, Universal moved it from their calendar, but Flanagan came out and said, there's nothing to worry about. It's coming out. We're just not coming out yet. So I'm going to check it out. Like I said, I don't care about The Exorcist. I went and saw the last one because I thought that one had potential to be good. Wasn't. But Mike Flanagan is enough to make me watch anything. So.
Yeah. What is your number 15?
My number 15 is coming out this year. It's Coyote versus Acme. It's back from the dead.
We're going to be talking about it later.
Okay.
Trust me, it's going to be talked about later. My number 14 may be on your list. I'm not 100% sure. But that is Masters of the Universe.
It did not make my list.
Really?
Although I'm intrigued.
Travis Knight directing this. Mm-hmm. I like Travis Knight. He did Bumblebee, which is one of the best Transformers movies that no one ever talks about, and another movie that we both love, Kubo and the Two Strings. I remember when they casted He-Man, I was like, what, this guy? But I've actually been watching this guy in a lot of movies. Granted, a lot of them are just, romantic drama or rom-coms, but this guy's grown on me as an actor, which is Nicholas Galtzine.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have to fucking put some muscle on, or he's going to be wearing a muscle suit. But I'm intrigued to see what he does with this role. And then you also have Camila Mendes, Alison Brie, who's playing Evil Lynn. fuck yeah. Then you got Idris Elba, who's not Skeletor, which makes me kind of bummed. Jared Leto's Skeletor. That's probably the one thing that's like, but yeah, that's literally the one thing going against it is that Jared Leto is going to be Skeletor. But why are you shaking your head at me, Kimberly?
Then I agree with you.
Oh, she agrees with me that Jared Leto's Skeletor is horrible. I'm sorry, she was just straight up like popped out of the Christmas tree and went at me, and I was like, I had to stop what I was doing so I could figure that out. I unabashedly love Masters of the Universe, the 80s movie, because I know it's bad, but as a kid, the Dolph Lundgren one, I loved that movie when I was a kid. Oh, I did. I know it's not a good movie. I know it's not, but I loved it when I was a kid. And plus, Skeletor was badass. Who was it? Wasn't it Christopher Lee?
No, it was Frank.
Who was it? Frank. Oh God, Frank.
Langella.
Yeah, Langella. I almost said good Jello, and I was like, that's not right. He was great in this, and Dolph Lundgren was great as He-Man. So I really kind of want to see what they do with this. Plus, with Travis Knight as director, I'm sorry, I'm here for it. I'm actually excited for this movie. I'm really excited for this movie, and I can't wait till we get a trailer. Please don't let Jared Leto fuck this up. Which, granted, I always shun Jared Leto. He wasn't bad in Tron Ares. He wasn't. He was fine. He was passable in it. But Skeletor, oh, that worries me. That worries me. Because, granted, Skeletor's become kind of like a funny meme now with his remember kind of thing. But I know we're not going to get that version of Skeletor in this movie.
I'm not so sure.
But with Jared Leto doing it, I'm worried. But I'm excited for this movie.
So, Masters of the Universe is one of those things that I've always felt you cannot make a live-action movie of this that's going to be any good. At best, you could make like a kid's movie that might entertain, less discerning people. But then you attach Travis Knight to it, who's Travis Knight. I know originally he's the head of Leica Animation. He directed himself Kubo as well as Paranorman, which are probably my two favorite of the Leica Animation movies. Then he did Bumblebee, which shows that he can do live action, and now he's doing this. I have complete faith in him. The cast, it's all people for the most part I like. But I'm still like, I don't see how you make this movie and it works. And there's been some like behind the scenes photos that have leaked out and stuff, so you can see kind of what a couple of the characters look like. And they're being very faithful, very, very faithful to the original look of the cartoon. But then at CinemaCon last year, which is like an industry thing where theater owners get to go and they get some kind of preview of upcoming movies and stuff. They apparently showed like a good chunk, like not the movie, like showed like, basically a sizzle reel, a few scenes and stuff they had done. And apparently it's great. Like people that were so against this thing, who said this is gonna be the stupidest fucking movie in the world, came going, this looks really, really good. Somehow they did it right. And one of the things they praised, Jared Leto's Skeletor, they said was one of the best things about it.
Don't get my goddamn hopes up on this.
So, I mean, like I said, I'm going by what other people are reporting, but it was reported, it wasn't just like one guy. This is a bunch of people all react kind of the same way. And everything points to this actually being good. I still can't bring myself to believe that a Masters of the Universe movie based on those toys and that really cheesy. I mean, I watched it religiously when I was a kid, don't get me wrong. But I'm like, I don't see how you make that work in live action, especially after that shitty 80s version with Dolph Lundgren.
I will unabashedly defend that movie. Knowing it's bad, I will defend that movie.
But
if you're still doing cinemasochism, which I will say this sidebar, I'm sorry, everybody. Looking at our highest views right now, it's been people going back and watching cinemasochism.
We should start that up again. Yeah,
we really should, but we need to like lock down all the movies before we just randomly let's just randomly pick one. We should bring that back in 2026 because it actually was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this one. I couldn't bring myself to put it on my list of anticipated because I don't know how it works, but supposedly Travis Knight made it work, and I have faith in him, so I'll be there day one.
Yes. What is your number 14?
My number 14, you mentioned earlier, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. This is another one that went all over my list. I'm not even sure how it ended up this high. I think the only reason it's as high as it is because we got a trailer for this and a lot of stuff below it we don't have trailers for. So I kind of like that, at least, can bump it up a little bit because I know more about it. The guys at Radio Silence are returning to direct it, who directed the first one. It's got Samara Weaving back. But you also add Catherine Newton as her sister, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Sean Hannity, Elijah Wood, Neston Carbonell, David Cronenberg in that role, Kevin Durand, who we loved in Abigail.
Bringing some Abigail people back together.
We love in everything, but he was
Yes.
awesome. He was one of the best parts of Abigail, along with Catherine Newton, honestly. So yeah, the kind of a reunion of the two movies kind of mashing together. And apparently it's very much like the first movie, just like amped up another level. So, and having watched the trailer, it definitely has the same tone. It has the same sense of humor, which I think was super important because that first one had this dark sense of humor in addition to its like over the top gore that just totally worked for me. And so this one looks like more of the same, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I was not as high on Ready or Not as you guys were when it first came out. I thought it was fine, but I thought the ending was kind of stupid, how they all exploded. I thought that was just like, that's just dumb. But, and I remember you were like, hell yeah, the sequel's coming. I was like, okay, cool, sure. But then I watched the trailer, and I was like literally like watching him like, all right, let's just see what this is. But then I started seeing, Elijah and Sarah and Kevin and all of them, Sean, who I really love him as an actor too. And I was like, holy crap, like I love this cast. And then of course Catherine Newton, we both have been fans of for a while. And I was like, okay, well, it's like I can't.
You're going back to like what? *Halt and Catch Fire*? I think it's the first place I saw her. Yeah.
Who? Catherine?
Catherine Newton. Yeah.
Oh, for me it was Supernatural.
No, so I think I'd stop watching it before she showed up. Yeah.
Yeah, she has like she's in at least 10 plus episodes of Supernatural. But yeah, I mean, I think *Halt and Catch Fire*, it was probably around the same time she was on Supernatural. But with this cast, I can't help to be excited for this movie. I went in with like little to no excitement, and Brian was like, "Dude, the new trailer." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then by the end of that, I was like, "Well, fuck, I got to be excited for this now because I love this cast." And it's not the same directors, right? It's not Radio Silence, is it?
Yeah.
Is it Radio Silence? Okay, so same people behind it with this cast. Because I like this cast way better than the first one. Because like the first one was just like Adam Brody. And it's like, okay, I can kind of take him or leave him. But this is like, no, like I'm in for like everybody in this movie. But yeah. My number 13, I am almost 100% positive we are not going to be talking about this right now. We're going to be talking about this later, and that's Terrifier 4.
Correct.
Okay, so let's go to your 14.
My 13.
Or 13, yeah.
My 13, maybe I should have swapped with something else just so we could talk about them back to back. It's Travis Knight's other movie coming out this year, because Leica Animation's coming out with one called Wildwood. Travis Knight, again, directing, which I just looked up, by the way. I was wrong. He did not direct Paranorman. He directed Kubo, though. But the director of Paranorman is the writer on this one. Wildwood, it's set beyond Portland city limits in Wildwood. You're not supposed to go there. You're not even supposed to know it exists. But Prue McKeel is about to enter this enchanted wonderland. Her baby brother Mac has been taken by a murder of crows in the forest depths, and she, along with her classmates, is going to get him back. It's a whole long description of it. It sounds like it's kind of a fairy tale, kind of almost like a labyrinth. It sounds like Labyrinth, honestly, where they kidnap the baby and she has to go look for it. It's based on a book which I'm not familiar with. Apparently, a very popular, young adult book. But just the fact that it is like animation, the fact that Travis Knight is directing again, the fact that it has the same writers as some of like Animation's best stuff, has me very interested in this movie. Plus, when I actually visited Seattle last year and got to go to at this museum they have there, a museum of pop culture or something like that. They had a whole Leica Animation like exhibit at the time, and it had a bunch of stuff from this movie, like the actual models there, and they had some videos playing and stuff. And it just looks as beautiful as anything Leica's ever done. It looks very intriguing, and even though I don't know anything about the book or really about the story, just based on what I do know about the pedigree behind it, it's high on my list.
Did this get a trailer yet?
No, it doesn't even have a date yet. It does say 2026, but it doesn't have a locked-in date. If I had to guess, this feels like something they would put out like Halloween time or just before Halloween, but I don't know. So
okay. This is like I didn't know what this is because I didn't see anything about it, but it's probably because it's basically
voice cast wise, I don't know the main girl. I don't know her from anything. But it does also have Jacob Tremblay, Carey Mulligan, Mahershala Ali, Awkwafina, who has to have a voice available in every movie. Angela Bassett, Jake Johnson, Charlie Day, Amanda Stenberg, Jermaine Clement. It just goes on and on. So yeah.
It's a great voice cast. Who knows? This could be up for our animated film of the year once we get to the end of the year. My number 12. I also feel like this will be talked about here shortly, but maybe not right now, and that's Mortal Kombat 2.
It's my 11, so we'll go ahead and talk about it now.
Okay, y'all know how I feel about the first Mortal Kombat film. And I'm not talking about the 1995. I'm talking about the first one in this new franchise. I was not a fan of where's his name? Louis Tan's Cole Young, the creative fighter that was thrown into this storyline. And the way they treated Goro in this movie really pissed me off. But outside of those two things, I liked a lot of what they were doing. There was an R-rated Mortal Kombat. Kano was great, played by Josh Lawson, who's I've known this guy as like these other characters, and when I was like, he's playing Kano, I'm like, fuck off. No, he's not.
I know for like House of Lies and Superstore and shit. Yeah.
Like those are the two things I knew him from. I was like, that guy's not Kano. And he was a perfect Kano. And now he's also in a St. Denis Medical. And I was like, I can't not see him as Kano. Like, it's great. But yeah, and then they announced like Carl Urban's gonna be Johnny Cage. And at first I was like, he seems a little too old to play Johnny Cage, but the way they're doing this portrayal of Johnny Cage, I'm like, okay, this fits. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about this, but I do know that Louis Tan has grown on me. Thank you, Cobra Kai, as an actor. So if I can get over the Cole Young aspect of this, I'm actually really excited for Mortal Kombat 2 because we're now finally going to get the actual fucking tournament. Supposedly, this is like Twisted Metal all over again, where season 1 was all about the build-up, and season 2 is finally the fucking tournament. Well, now we're actually going to get that in this movie, and so I'm actually all for this and seeing what they're going to go with it.
Yeah, no, I really loved the first, the first of this iteration of Mortal Kombat, the previous film. I liked it. Lewis, I do agree that making this, newly invented, as you call it, a creative character as your main character, I think that was a mistake. But I did not hate him as much as you did. I loved the casting, I loved the characters and how they portrayed him. I love that they went hardcore, full gore, all the fatalities, everything in this. So then they move on to the second movie, and it looks like they're just embracing things and just jacking up another level to where we're gonna get just as much gore, all the fatalities you want to see. From the looks of the trailer, at least, I think Louis Tan also has a smaller role in this movie. Or at least in that first trailer, they certainly aren't featuring it very much. And the fact that they was supposed to come out in October, and then they delayed it, which, it would have made money then because nothing else really came out in that period, but they delayed it to like early summer, I believe. And so it's like, that shows faith in it. So whatever they got turned in as the final product, they must have felt like this is good. This can make some money. This can go up against the heavy hitters and still do well. So I think that's a vote of confidence in its favor, which has me even more excited about it.
That was your 11, you said?
That's my 11. So I skipped over my 12, which you've talked about previously as Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary is from Lord and Miller, who I love their comedy they make. And this is very much, it feels like a sci-fi dramedy. It's definitely got, stakes to it. It's got a kind of serious story, but there's clearly comedy in it. Apparently this is a very well-received book. It's been praised, and there's people who just love this book to death and think this is going to be the best movie of the year based on that. I have not read the book, so I can't tell you about that. But I do love Ryan Gosling. He's in the lead. I think he's perfect for the tone that they seem to be going for, where it is kind of like that drama, but also comedy and sci-fi. I do wonder if that first trailer gave away a little too much. But apparently, from what I understand, I think that happens early in the movie, so it just builds from there. So I'm not going to criticize it for that too much. But yeah, this is largely going to be, Ryan Gosling's Gravity, except with a little more comedy.
Or Martian.
I'm saying most of the movie is just him in the spaceship in space. I mean, there's the whole first part where they're like recruiting him and stuff. He's like a science teacher. He's not even an astronaut. He gets sent up there because he has some theories that can help basically stop the end of the world essentially. But Lord and Miller directing, love them. I think that they might be just the right tone for this kind of thing. It's got Milena Vaintrub, who we both love. She's in this movie.
If you were gonna mention her, I was going to. I was like, if he doesn't mention her, I'm
definitely
gonna
mention
right away.
So yeah, I mean, knowing what little I do about the story and stuff, though, it looks good. So I made it decent part of my list.
Everything that you said, I 100% agree on. And Milena is third billing as of right now. So, God, I hope that this is a big movie for her because she deserves to like finally get recognized. Because everyone just still knows her as like, was it Sprint or AT&T or whatever? I think it's AT&T. She's so fucking funny. And they don't like, she doesn't get to show it that much. Like she was great in, was it Werewolves Within?
I've seen a couple of like Silicon Valley and some other things.
Yes. And so I hope that this is actually, which I'm worried that it's not, because it does feel very much like Ryan Gosling, like just in a room with a rock.
Well, I'm wondering if she might be like, because she's playing, I know she's Russian. And her character name here is Olesya I won't even try to pronounce it. It's like somebody just pounding on the keyboard. But it appears to be Russian. So I'm wondering if she is like somebody like on a space station deals with, or maybe somebody helps train him as an astronaut to go up. I don't know. But I think so.
Is she gonna be Peter Stormare in Armageddon? Russian space station. I'm not even gonna be mad if that's what she is.
I would love it. I would love it.
I feel like you'd kill the fuck out of that. But yeah, this looks fun. This is exciting. Of course, Lord and Miller. I mean, they rarely miss, if ever. And then you add Gosling, and I liked what we got in the trailer. I thought it was a very good trailer. So yeah. My number 11 probably is not on your list, but I had them right there, side by side with Mortal Kombat, and that's Street Fighter.
Just missed my list.
Street Fighter.
Which, first of all, it would not have been anywhere near my list until I saw that, like, it was really a trailer. More of a civil whatever. Yeah.
First off, the cast is awesome. You got, obviously, the wrestler. I mean, you got Cody Rhodes, who, dude, the Guile haircut. I did not. Oh man, like Jean-Claude.
He does the Guile flip kick too, which is awesome.
Yes, Jean-Claude Van Damme refused to have the Guile haircut in 1994 because Jean-Claude Van Damme can't look uncool. But Cody don't care. And Cody, I can't look at him and not laugh. It's gonna be so fun watching him. And then of course you got Roman Reigns as Akuma, 50 Cent as Balrog, Jason Momoa as Blanca. I'm sorry, he looks awesome as Blanca. David Dastmalchian as Bison. Oh, if he brings 10% of what Raul Julia does, 10%. That's all I'm asking for is 10%. Oh my god, I want him to fucking rule that role. Eric Andre, I could kind of take or leave. But Hiroki Goto as E Honda, it's a Japanese professional wrestler. Rhina, I'm gonna butcher the hell out of her name. Rhina Vallandigham. I said that wrong. I apologize.
Yeah.
She, once again, Cobra Kai. She was awesome at Cobra Kai. I'm excited to see her in this. The only name that I see that makes me go, is Kyle Mooney. I hope he's got a small role.
Also Eric Andre for me.
Yeah, Eric Andre, he looks like he's more kind of like a commentator kind of character.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I do want to say the one you left out was Olivier Richters from Jack Reacher as Zangief. Yeah. He's like the really big dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes, he's another one. But yeah, and I mean, like visually wise, like they're having these be so true to the game, which makes it that much batshit crazy. And the little 30-40 second trailer we got is like Mortal Kombat. I'm not saying that Mortal Kombat's serious, but compared to Street Fighter, it looks serious. Street Fighter looks like Scott Pilgrim,
just bonkers fun.
Yeah. We're just gonna have fun with this. And I also love how well this, like in the behind, during the video game awards, this cast looks like they're having a blast together, like going out there and talking shit to Mortal Kombat, trying to start like a movie war with them. I think is awesome. And then of course at the very end of the teaser trailer where they had the beat up the fucking car like pregame, perfect. Kind of like this looks so much fun. I can't wait to see it. It could be a train wreck and be utter dog shit. But this is the first time since 1994, because 9-year-old Sean was ecstatic for Street Fighter, that I am actually excited for a Street Fighter movie, and this looks so much fun.
My 11 was Mortal Kombat, so we can move on to the top 10.
All right, my top 10 I know is not on Brian's list because he's a fan, but he's not a fan of it anymore. And that's Toy Story 5. Probably the lowest I will ever put this on an anticipated is at 10. People gave it shit when it came out with the third one. The third one was one of the best animated films of all time. People gave it shit when it came back for 4. I loved it. A lot of people didn't. But I also was like, okay, cool. That was a good ending for what they did. Now we're getting it back together again. Now they're going against the tech side of things. They're gonna have to explain how the fuck Woody got back with the group, because he's with them, and I don't know how the fuck that happened. So they better explain that and not treat it like it's kids. Who the fuck cares? Pixar's smarter than that, so they're gonna make it make sense. But it's Toy Story. I'm sorry, I gotta have it on my list. It's Toy Story. I love Toy Story, and I will defend Toy Story to everybody. I don't care. Even you can be like, oh, 4 was stupid. 4 was still a great film. It was still a great film. Yes, was it necessary? No. Was it needed? No. Was it still a great film? Yes, it fucking was. I will fight anyone on that. So naturally, I have to be excited for the 5th one, even though we probably shouldn't be getting a 5th one, because Lightyear, I thought Lightyear was fine for what it was, but it's not Toy Story. It's just this is what the toy's based on kind of thing. But a Toy Story movie, yeah, I'm always going to be ready for a Toy Story movie. I don't think we need it, but I'm going to be there day one.
I have nothing to add.
Yeah,
I'll probably see it. I'm not even 100%. I'll probably see it, but I'm not like excited about it.
Brian's like, I got nothing to add.
My 10 is one that surprised me as how high I put it. But I saw this trailer, and it looked like a shitload of fun. It apparently was streamed at a festival, one of the festivals recently, and got all kinds of reviews. And that is a movie from Gore Verbinski called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. This is a movie starring Sam Rockwell as a man from the future arrives at a diner in Los Angeles where he must recruit the precise combination of disgruntled patrons to join him on a one-night, 6-block quest to save the world from the terminal threat of rogue artificial intelligence. So you got Sam Rockwell as like your main character. As far as the diner patrons who he basically is recruiting, you got Zazie Beetz, Haley Lou Richardson, Michael Pena, Juno Temple, then a bunch of names I don't really know. But also for me, the fact that it's directed by Gore Verbinski, who made the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean, which to me is like a perfect trilogy. I love all 3 of those first 3 ones, the good ones.
Didn't he also do The Ring?
He did The Ring. He did Rango, which is bonkers, I kind of love the sense of humor and that take on it. He hasn't made a movie in 10 years. His last movie was 2016's Cure for Wellness, and I don't know what he's been doing since then. But this came up out of nowhere. It definitely looks like a smaller scale film. He's not making these giant blockbusters like Pirates of the Caribbean anymore. But I'm here for it. The trailer looks fun. Sam Rockwell, I love when he's just doing his bonkers comedy thing. He's got a great supporting cast to it. The concept of it sounds fun. And this is another one that you know, the other movies might have ranked above it if I knew more about them or had trailers, things like that. But this is one that we do know I have more solid information on, so it's higher on my anticipated list.
Yeah, I remember watching the trailer and I was just like, okay. It didn't really like move the needle or wow me. But yeah, I was like, I knew that it was going to be on your list somewhere. I didn't think it was going to be this high. But yeah,
I didn't either. So I was making it. I'm like, sure, it makes sense.
My number 9 is something that you already mentioned, and yes, it's finally coming out, and that's Coyote versus Acme. Look, we spent too much time talking about this movie over the last year and a half for this not to be a top 10 anticipated. Because we have been wanting this movie to come out for so fucking long. Because we've heard nothing but great things. And my worry is because we've heard nothing but great things, that this movie is just not going to measure up to what we were promised, told, what have you. But we are finally getting this movie. Rightfully so. Right? They tried to kill it and not make it happen, but everyone grows up and was like, no, we need to see this movie. This movie needs to come out. And we finally got it. And I can't help but be like very, very anticipated and excited for this film.
Yeah, this is a movie that I probably would not rank as high on my list if it hadn't gone through what it went through. Because I'm definitely interested in seeing this, like the live action animated hybrid with Wile E. Coyote and the whole concept of him suing Acme. Then you have the cast with Will Forte as the main guy. It's like everything just seems to me like it's perfectly lined up to be a great comedy. Then when they did a screening of it, some people that went to it said it was actually worked real well and it was hilarious. So we were all mad when they shelved it, and then it found a new life. Somebody finally bought it up and they're putting it out. So I'm just glad to see it finally come out. So, yeah.
All right. What is
my next one? This is my Exorcist Believer, because this might not come out this year. Because this one, like Exorcist Believer, or not Exorcist Believer, whatever the new Exorcist one was called. The one you were talking about.
I think it's Believer. Oh, you're talking about okay. No, Believer was the last.
That was the last one. Yeah.
This one, it's just untitled exorcism film.
Yeah.
It's just film.
Mine is the untitled Trey Parker, Matt Stone, Kendrick Lamar comedy. This is like Exorcist. This was scheduled for March of 2026. Sometime last year, they removed it from the schedule. It has been filmed. This has been completed. They say they're still working on it. So I think it's still going to come out this year, just later in the year, but I'm not 100% certain. Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I feel like South Park's kind of run its course. I mean, it got a little bit of resurgence, like when it started doing the Trump thing, but I haven't really paid attention to it in years at this point.
I've heard that it's gotten stronger now over the last 2 seasons, but once it went to like Paramount, and I kind of like started, because then they started doing specials and all this stuff. And
I watched it religiously for like the first 13 seasons or something, and I loved the show and the movie. I think it's hilarious when they did the movie. But yeah, once it kind of went to streaming, I kind of fell away from it. I watched a few episodes here and there in the last couple of years, but not a lot. But when they're doing stuff that's not South Park, when they do Orgasmo, when they do Basketball, they just acted in that, they didn't write it, although it clearly had a hand in rewriting and improv and things like that. And when they do Team America, I like when they're using their talents for something besides South Park. And now they finally are. I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, but I'm very curious to see what Kendrick Lamar is doing with these two guys. There's at one point, I've heard had a working title of Whitney Springs, but I'm not sure if that's the actual title of it. The plot, supposedly, there's not a whole lot out there. This is supposedly the plot. It's a live-action satirical comedy following a young black man who interns as a slave reenactor at a living history museum who discovers his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his. That's a very basic premise, but to see what these guys can do with it, based on the history of Parker and Stone movies and just kind of a wacky premise, I'm very intrigued, and I've anticipated. Like, again, this is one that may not be the best movie of the year, but just based on my curiosity, and I'm anticipating this movie, and so it's high on my anticipated list if it comes out. We don't know.
It might not be the best movie of the year, but it might be one of the funniest movies of the year.
Yeah.
This was on my long list, and then I just had to cut it because, like I said, we hadn't heard enough about it, and like you said, I kind of fallen off of South Park, and like I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar. The synopsis of it sounds like, oh fuck, what are they gonna do? Yeah, it, like I said, I'm intrigued by it, but until we actually get like an actual release date and trailer, I'm just like, all right, we'll see. But once we get a trailer, if it could shoot all the way up. My number 8 you brought up earlier, and that is Violent Night 2.
Great.
Number 8, dude, I love the first one.
I'm happy to have it there. Yeah.
Yeah, it is my number 8. Violent Night has become one of my favorite Christmas movies alongside Spirited. Especially over the last, especially in the 2000s. But I would think that it's easily in my top 5 of favorite Christmas movies now, bar none. I was just selling this movie to one of my coworkers who had never even heard of it. I was like, it's Die Hard with Santa. Literally, it's Die Hard with Santa, but in a mansion. And it is awesome. David Harbour, like, you would think, like, oh yeah, well, he's Hopper, he's always going to be Hopper, and it's like, oh no, he's also Red Guardian. It's like, no, he's fucking Santa. And he's an amazing Santa, and I love the first movie. The acting's not the greatest, but it's not intended to be the greatest. It's all about the action and the gore and the special effects, or not special effects, the choreography of the fighting. And with this one, is it the same director?
Yeah, Tommy Wirkola, who I just talked about with the other movie. Yeah.
Exactly. Same director. And then let's see, new people. We've got obviously Harbor's back. We got Kristen Bell, Daniela or how do we say her name?
Melchior.
Yeah, Jared Harris, Joey Pats, Maxwell, Jacob Freeman, MJF. For anyone who doesn't know pro wrestling, that dude is one of the best villains in pro wrestling today. Okay. I hope to God he plays a bad guy. He's one of those perfect wrestling villains that you just want to watch and beat the ever living shit because he doesn't filter anything. He's amazing. That's kind of the rest of the cast. I'm sure there's people here that I know, but not by name. But if they bring the same fucking energy that they bring in the first film, I'm 100% there for it. I have always loved John Leguizamo, but goddamn, I loved him in the last one. And then whoever, blanking on his name, whoever was like the head elf, the one they beat ever living shit out of with like the hot pokers. He's not a great actor, but he was perfect in that movie. I love that dude. But yeah, Violent Night 2, I cannot wait to see. And I hope that they're smart with it with their release date. Because didn't the first one come out like in October?
I want to say it was November, but yeah, it was.
This one needs to be released around Christmas time. Don't release this at Thanksgiving. This needs to be a December release. And it needs to be like within 2 weeks of Christmas. Like you have.
Well, the problem is they always want to bring it out like more in November so it can like make money through Christmas.
But the problem is that it's not going to match up to like whatever big fucking movies are going to come out in November, and it's not going to make the money that you think it's going to make. Drop it in like 2 weeks before Christmas, because then you got like that middle of the ground where like, oh, everyone's either waiting for Christmas for the big movie or whatever. Drop it in that middle section so it can get 2 weeks of like, yeah, this is a Christmas movie. And
you know what? Look, I looked it up. The first one came out December 2nd. I think that would be an okay release date for this one too. Just play through December.
I'm okay with that too. I would say like around like the 10th-ish is where I would want to release it. So that way it's closer to Christmas. But December 2nd, I'm totally fine with as well. But if you guys have not seen Violent Night, I also think if you guys have Fandango at home, it used to be called Vudu. It's free to watch with ads. Strong urge for you guys to watch it if it's still free on Vudu or Fandango at home. It is a must watch.
Yeah, no, I love the first one. I watch it every year. I watched it again this year and loved it just as much. It's absolutely just Die Hard with Santa Claus. David Harbour is perfectly cast in the role.
He plays it so true. So true. There's that one moment that gets me every time. It's like such a little moment, but it's like when they mild little spoiler, but like when they throw the list in the fire and he's like, that's the cure for the children. It's like, dude, like you are Santa. Cause like I bought into him on that moment where I was just like, dude, okay, he's not playing like, yeah, I guess I'm playing Santa. Like, no, dude, you're Santa.
He's very likely my favorite on-screen Santa Claus of all time, honestly.
Now he is, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I love David Harbour. I think he's perfect for the role. The director, I already talked about how I've always liked a lot of the stuff he's done. Tommy Wirkola, I like Constant Rental, Witch Hunters. This one, obviously, Dead Snow, some other stuff he's done. He also had an animated film called Spermageddon, which you've heard me talk about on this channel.
You have mentioned that.
but again, just as important for me as cast and stuff in this movie is the 87 North guys, the David Leitch's team doing the stunts and the action. That's why the action was so good in the first movie, the choreography of it, because those guys are the top of the line. They're the best in stunt work and fight choreography and stunt choreography in the business. So they're a big appeal. And then you add on people like Kristen Bell, Danielle Melchior, Joey Pants. You know, this is only getting better and better. I don't know anything about the plot of it. But I don't need to.
We're not going to for a while.
I don't need to. It still makes the list even without any plot information at all.
If anything, we won't hear anything probably till October, September at the earliest.
Yeah, my number 8, which I'm guessing is higher for you. It's The Odyssey.
It is higher for me. We will talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
My number 8, I know is on your list. It might be right around it. What's that?
You were going first. Did I go out of order? Did I do my 8 before yours? Sorry.
No, my 8 was Violent Night 2.
Oh, okay.
And then your
just now you said my 8. I think you meant to say my 7. Gotcha. Okay.
I'm sorry. My 7 is probably also on yours. It might be right around the same range or higher. If it's not on your list, I'm going to be really, really shocked because I know you really like the trailer, and that's Supergirl.
It's my 6. We can go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. Like I said, 2 surprises for me and Brian in 2025 was how much we actually liked Superman and what James Gunn did with it. David Cornsweet as Superman. Everything for almost everything worked for us on that. Supergirl, not James Gunn directing it, but he's got his hands in it, obviously, because he's the new Kevin Feige. But Millie Alcock, who we both loved in House of the Dragon.
We were mad when she aged up.
Yes, we were both mad when all of a sudden they were like, "Oh yeah, now she's not the same person anymore. She it's a different actress." We missed her so much, even though they still keep bringing her back because I think everyone realized how much they love her. It's like, we'll bring back young version of her for this one scene that makes no sense, but hey, you got to see her. But anyway, she's gonna be Kara Zor-El. We still don't really know much about this, and I'm fine with that. The main thing though is Jason Momoa finally gets to play the character he's always wanted to play in Lobo. I don't really know Lobo that much, like DC.
Well, little I know of him though, he's perfect for it. I don't know.
Yeah,
much
apparently he's more perfect than him than he was as Aquaman. And it was like, well, Aquaman wasn't even playing Aquaman the way Aquaman should have been. But apparently he's totally perfect for Lobo. So we'll see what happens. The trailer was chaotic. I'll be more excited once we know the actual story for it. But like I said, because of how much I enjoyed Superman, I am obviously going to be excited for Supergirl. So
yeah, Supergirl. The movie is based on Supergirl. I want to say it's like Woman of Tomorrow or something like that. It's the name of the graphic novel. Yeah, it's based on, which I actually picked up recently from the library, and I can't decide if I want to read it or not. Because it's apparently, while there are obviously changes made, that's kind of the basis for the story. But I'm like, do I want to know anything going? Because it's apparently hailed as like one of the best comic stories of all time, and definitely within the Superman and DC universe, it's lauded as one of the best stories of the last however many years. So apparently the story is really good. I really love Millie Alcock. Honestly, she is the top draw for me because, like I said, James Gunn, while he has a hand in it and he kind of helped shape the tone of this kind of part of the universe, he's not directed. Craig Gillespie is, who I love his work. I mean, he's done everything from the remake of Fright Night, which I liked, to Cruella and a few other things he's done. Pam and Tommy with Lily James and Sebastian Stan. So I like the director. I like the producer, obviously. Millie Alcock being one of the primary, especially when we got to this a little bit of a sneak preview of her at the end of Superman.
Yeah, she's not the Kara we thought we were gonna get. So
she's not gonna be a stuffy Superman. She's gonna be a different character. And especially like in the trailer, there's that line of like, I don't remember what his. I see, he believes in the good in people. I see the truth in people. What they're really like. I love that line. It kind of shows their different kind of outlooks on everything. And so I'm really excited to see this one. And I don't, like you, I don't know yet anything really much about the story, but I'm looking forward to it.
What is your 7?
My 7, you mentioned earlier, is Terrifier 4, which is supposedly coming this year. Again, there's been nothing confirmed saying it's coming this year because I don't even know if it's been filmed yet. I know it was being written, but I don't know if it actually went into production. Although something like this, especially when they're doing all the practical effects on, they're doing them practically, so they don't need post-production time much for like visual effects and things like that. So I think it probably is coming out this year, probably around Halloween.
Based off the poster, it looks like it's Halloween.
That's a fan poster.
I know.
But still, it is expected to be coming out this year. You know me, I love the Terrifier films. I think 3 was a little bit of a step down from 2, but I wouldn't call it a disappointment because I still enjoyed the hell out of it. It still had all the way over the top gore that you'd expect from it. It gets a little muddled in its mythology, which I think that
which apparently they're supposed to explain Art's mythology in this one.
Yeah, but whatever, man. You can have whatever mythology you want as long as you give me the gory kills I want with Art's twisted, dark sense of humor. That's all I want out of a movie. So I'm really looking forward to this one because this is just one that just speaks to me. What that says about me, I don't know.
Yeah, this is one that, like I said, before Terrifier 3 came out, Brian basically made me sit there and watch Terrifier 2 with him after it was like the 3rd time he's watched it that week. And I'll admit the gore is insane, but it's also like so brutal that it's funny, which makes me and Brian just sick in all different ways. But we're not the only ones, so we're all fucked up. But I agree. Terrifier 3 was kind of a letdown in terms of I think Terrifier 2 was, like, to me, the best one. I feel like it built up all this momentum, and then Terrifier 3 was just kind of like, we got too big and we didn't quite know what to do, because I feel like the third act kind of fell flat, especially with the whole Jonathan aspect, which he's technically on the cast list for 4, which doesn't really mean shit. But I really don't care. I think he's the worst actor out of all of them. But he's fucking horrible. Like, I can appreciate the character, but goddamn, that kid sucks.
I agree.
But as long as Laura, is it Laura or Lauren?
Lauren Lavera.
As long as she's back, I'm fine, because I fucking love her. She's become like one of my favorite final girls now. But yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I if it is back around Halloween time, I would be. It felt weird with the Christmas thing. Like, yeah, you tried it. I don't think it worked that well. Let's kind of stick with Halloween. I think art needs to kind of stay there, unless you're gonna do 4th of July, because I'm intrigued to see what art would do with fireworks. Or New Year's, you could even continue it and have it be New Year's, like, so it's a week later.
Easter and really piss off religious people. There you go.
Oh God, the way they would go, especially when they did the Thorn.
The Passion of the Art. There you go.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Maybe Mel Gibson does end up doing that Passion sequel that then Damien Leone can do it.
I want to see it now that you put that in my head. I think Halloween is where it will work best, but if you're going to do 4th of July or Easter, I'm fucking down to see, or New Year's, I'm down to see that. I hope the story is stronger than in 3, but Terrifier, that's one thing. It's like, you're like, oh, you don't go to see Terrifier for the plot. I do see it for the plot. Same reason why I saw the Saw movies. I didn't see Saw movies for the contraptions. I wanted to see it for the plot. And Terrifier, Art the Clown is fun. But I do want the plot to actually make sense for it. I'm
very curious to see what your top 5 are, because I think at least 2, if not 3, of my top 5 are not going to be on your list. So I'm curious to see what you have up there that I don't. I know you have Odyssey up there a little higher than me, but okay, go ahead.
My number, well, I know one of them in my top 5 is definitely not on your list. My number 6 is definitely not on your list. And
that's right. You didn't do 6 yet. My 6 was Supergirl. That's right. I thought we already did 6. Okay,
yeah, no, I haven't done my 6 yet.
Okay.
My number 6 is definitely not on your list, and that is Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh, that's
right. I know Brian hates Grogu, and he's dropped off on The Mandalorian, but I haven't. I love The Mandalorian TV series, and
Mandalorian season 3 was actually the best of the seasons, because I liked where they were going with Bo-Katan and all that stuff, and it appears they're not in the movie, so I don't know.
Well, like I said, they could always change that. But Jeremy Allen White is Rod of the Hutt, and I'm fucking here for it. Sigourney Weaver is in this one. Filoni apparently has got a small part in this, which I'm actually intrigued to see what he does. But they do have a synopsis, so I'm going to read it real quick. The evil empire has fallen, and imperial warlords remain scattered throughout the galaxy as the fledgling New Republic works to protect everything the rebellion fought for. They have enlisted the help of the legendary Mandalorian bounty hunter Din Djarin and his young apprentice Grogu. That's a very basic bitch-ass plot synopsis. But like I said, I love the Mandalorian. I appreciate Grogu. Do they overuse him? Sure. But they strike while the iron's hot when it comes to Grogu. If this is going to be the final episode or series finale of The Mandalorian, then I got to be excited for it. Because I really, really do love this franchise or this series. And so I gotta be excited for the movie, even though I know Brian's gonna be a hater about it. But yeah, so my number 6. And the trailer did not really do much, but it was a flash in the pan trailer. It wasn't a trailer that was really going to show us anything.
The trailer mostly does nothing for me. I mean, it feels very much like it's just like a TV episode, extended episode they're putting in theaters. That being said, it's Star Wars.
Stranger Things.
They
did 25 mil this weekend.
That being said, it's Star Wars. I'm going to see it. I want to like it. As The Mandalorian's gone on, I've gotten less and less interested in it because of they've so much focus on Grogu. And then, like I said, I was interested in like when they started bringing in Bo-Katan and all that kind of that section of it, but that appears that's not part of this story in the movie as far as we know. But I'm still intrigued. I'm still going to check it out. I want to like it. I will say, as Sigourney Weaver in this, I almost feel like she's in too many sci-fi movies these days. It's like she's like the one person they seem to want to put in a little role in every sci-fi movie or horror movie franchise just to try and give it that little bit of, credibility. She'll pop up in this and she'll pop up in Paul and she's in Avatar and she's in Cabin in the Woods and she's, she always has a little part in like everything they make. And I like her. I feel like she's getting a little more exposed. That's all.
She's not like getting any younger, dude. Let her go out and get her.
No, I don't have a problem with it. I feel like when she pops up in movies now, it doesn't have that impact of like, see what we're just like, oh, she's another one.
All right, we're going into our top 5.
Yeah.
I think Odyssey is the only one in my top 5 that you have mentioned so far. It's not my number 5, but it's close. My number 5. I would hope it's in there for you based off of how much we love the last movie. And that is Werewolf from Robert Eggers.
No.
Really? Wow. Okay. Brian and I both loved Nosferatu. It was one of our best horror films of the year. It was one of my favorite films of the year. Robert Eggers, I don't love him as much as a lot of people do, but I appreciate how he shoots his movies. Northman, I thought was fantastic. The Lighthouse. I didn't really care about The Witch, but Nosferatu was perfect. So now he wants to do a werewolf movie, and I mentioned this. I can't remember what episode. It might have been one of the end of year. I was like, there has not really been a really good werewolf movie. And you're going to mention werewolves, and I get it. But I'm talking about a werewolf movie. Wolfman was horrible. Wolf, the Wolfman, it hasn't been like a legitimately really good werewolf movie. And I feel like Robert Eggers is the person that's going to do it. The other selling factor for me is we've got Lily Rose Depp back, William Dafoe is back, Ralph Ineson is back, and our boy, Aaron Taylor Johnson, is back. And if he's the werewolf in this, I am going to 100% be there for it. The quick synopsis for it is set in the 13th century England. The story focuses on local villagers who are stalked by a mysterious creature. As the attacks continue, ancient folklore and superstition bleed into a terrifying reality. While the official plot details are scarce, the film will be a historical take on the werewolf mythos. And with Eggers at the helm, like I said, what he did with Nosferatu, I want to see him do this with the werewolf. And like I said, 5 people from Nosferatu are back for this. And so I am 1,000% there for this movie.
So, you know how you said on Matchbox, if you knew this was coming out, you would have had it on your list? I knew this was coming out. Somehow it disappeared from my list and I forgot about it. I put it on the graphic that we made for the thumbnail for this video. I have werewolves on there. But when I made my like master list of like I was adding everything coming out so I could start narrowing down, of 100 and whatever movies, I swear I put it on there. But then now I just looked and it's nowhere on my list. And if it had been, I'm sure I would have put it. It probably would have been close to like in the 20s for me or something.
Yeah.
But it would have been somewhere on my list.
That's what I was like, how is this not on your list?
Yeah, I mean, I've not been a huge fan of Robert Eggers for the most part. Although, I thought Northman was a little bit more my tastes. And then Nosferatu, again, we really liked, which is probably going to be the closest to this movie in terms of its style and tone. So, and then you have Aaron Taylor Johnson as your top billed lead, like right there is enough to get me interested in it. So yes, this should have been on my list, honestly, somewhere in probably like the lower teens or 20s. But yeah, things happen when you're making lists. So.
Yes.
I have it on the graphic. I took it with me. Anyway.
What's your number 5?
My number 5, Spider-Man. Brand New Day.
Gonna talk about here in a little bit.
Okay.
Tie her up. My number 4, you already mentioned, is The Odyssey. Brian and I are definitely not the quote unquote Nolan freaks or the Nolan stands. Brian definitely is. I do really, really like Christopher Nolan, but when Nolan sucks, I call it out. Tenet. Garbage. I think freaking oh god, what the hell? War movie.
Interstellar.
No, I actually Interstellar's grown on me on rewatches.
But people worship that movie. Like,
no, when it first came out, I was like, eh. But honestly, on rewatches, Interstellar has actually grown on me quite a bit. Dunkirk, blah, Dunkirk sucks. But like for me, my favorite one outside of the Batman's, my favorite Nolan is still Inception. I fucking love Inception so much. But Nolan, especially with Oppenheimer, I was not like expecting to love Oppenheimer. Like I wanted to see it, obviously, but I really was impressed with what he did with Oppenheimer and the cast he had. But the Odyssey is the cast for this has me so excited. Let me run through this laundry list of names: Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Anne Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, Benny Safdie, Charlize Theron, John Bernthal, John Leguizamo, Hamish Patel, Elliot Page, Samantha Morton. The list goes on and on and on. This Corey Hawkins, glad to see him in this. Ryan Hurst, another guy that I love. I grew up with like Clash of the Titans and those Sinbad movies and all that kind of shit. So the Odyssey storyline is something that I really enjoy, and I really want to see how Nolan does this. I am intrigued as hell to see how Nolan does this. People are already shitting on him because of that one soldiers like, that's not historic. Shut the fuck up. It's Christopher Nolan. Like
also
not expect that?
Also, this is the Odyssey. It has Cyclops and sirens and shit. It's not realistic.
And you're upset because there's an outfit that looks like Batman. Fuck off. Like seriously. Like we are not Nolan defenders, but if that's what you have to get angry at, then don't fucking go watch the movie. Because once again, like you said, Cyclops, fucking is Medusa in this one or no? Or is that just Clash of the Titans?
No, I think it's Clash of the Titans.
Okay,
it does have the sirens though, who lure them in with their song.
Yes, yeah. But it's like, you guys are gonna really find anything you guys can to be pissed about something. But this cast with Nolan and it being the Odyssey, I can't help but be fucking excited for this movie.
Yeah, like you, I think Christopher Nolan is a spectacular filmmaker. He's one of those filmmakers who I really have to separate him from his fans because his fans are fucking obnoxious.
Those Tarantino fans.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. There's worship him and he can do no wrong. It's like, yes, he can. Some of his movies aren't great. He does make a lot of great movies. I agree. Inception, outside of like The Dark Knight, I think Inception is probably my favorite movie of his. Visually, even the movies he doesn't that aren't good, like Dunkirk, visually, filmmaking wise, great. It looks great. It sounds great. Everything, the filmmaking itself is spectacular. Even if I didn't enjoy the story and things. This one, I would never have guessed Christopher Nolan doing this sword and sandals, movie of the Odyssey. It just doesn't seem like it would be, which is I'm here for because like I'm very much welcoming to see a new, a different side of him, see him take on a different kind of story. And
I also wasn't expecting him to do Oppenheimer of all things either, but yeah, here we are.
Yeah, you put together this great cast. It looks great, and then the trailer. They've just released a small trailer for it. I actually went and saw in IMAX for what was it, Avatar? Not Avatar.
It was Avatar.
Was it Avatar?
Yeah, it was Avatar.
Yeah, where they had like a 6 minute, I think it was 6 minutes, like a full scene in IMAX theaters from the Odyssey, and it was basically the Trojan horse scene, which you've seen in it from stories, but also you saw it like the movie Troy. It's very similar, although it's a little different, but it's the same kind of thing. Which I assume that must take place very early in the movie because the Odyssey is the story of their journey home after that whole battle. So, but that's just that 6 minute scene. It looked spectacular. It's what you expected from Christopher Nolan. So yeah, I'm super looking forward to this. I'm just not as huge on Christopher Nolan as some other people are.
It would be great if they had Achilles and it was still Brad Pitt. just as like a small cameo, like, and there's Achilles dead. It's Brad Pitt still. I would be fucking there for that.
Can we still have Orlando Bloom being a little bitch and cling on to somebody's leg? Help me.
Yes. Because it isn't because Matt Damon's Homer, right?
Matt Damon is Odysseus.
Odysseus, sorry. Was
Homer wrote the Odyssey and the Iliad?
Oh, sorry. Was Odysseus Sean Bean in Troy?
I believe so. Yes.
I would have really loved to see. I would have loved to have seen that. I really, really would have. my number 3, I know is 100% not on Brian's list because he thinks this franchise is overrated as fuck, but I fucking love it, and that's Dune Part 3.
Also
Yeah, no, I don't lie to me. I know it's nowhere on your list. He appreciates Dune Part 2, but he says it's overrated as shit. But he does know it's a good movie, just not as amazing as everyone's claiming it out to be. But I thought Dune was good to fine, but I thought Dune Part 2 was amazing. So naturally, I'm going to be excited for Dune Part 3. New addition, Robert Pattinson is now going to be in this. So that in terms of everyone else looks to be, and Anna Taylor-Joy obviously is going to probably have a bigger part. Other than that, everyone else is back, but those are really the only 2 new additions that I see name-wise. But with what they did with Dune and then Dune Part 2, I can't help but be eagerly anticipating to see what they do with Dune Part 3. There's not really much more I can go with that. It's visually, it looks amazing. I love the cast. Timothée Chalamet is, like I said, when he first started, I was just like, oh, God, this guy is just like not even a string bean, but he's just like, looks just kind of blah. But Timothée Chalamet has, like Guy Ritchie, over the last few years, he has just constantly just impressed me in everything he does. And even with, like I said, Marty Supreme, that came out a couple weeks ago. So, but I've loved what he's done in Dune. Same thing with Zendaya. I love what she's done with it. And then the cinematographer, Roger Deakins? Is it Deakins?
Oh, did he do that one? Okay, yeah.
I thought he did the Dunes. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's done the Dunes.
Well, he died, right? Did he?
No, he's still alive.
Okay, well, cinematographer of Dune 3 is Linus Sandgren.
Maybe he didn't do the Dunes because it hasn't popped up. He did Blade Runner 2049, and 1917. I thought he did Dune, but I'm sorry.
I'm on Dune right now. Dune cinematography. Nope, Greg Fraser on 1. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, but the cinematography is amazing. Sorry, Roger Deakins. I basically put you on a pedestal for. I mean, you're still amazing.
You're still amazing. Yes.
But you didn't do the Dunes. I apologize for the guys who did Dune. But the cinematography of these movies look amazing. The second one was fantastic. And I, like I said, I'm really, really amped to see this next one. I know Brian's gonna see it, but he's just gonna be like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
I'll probably see it. Yeah. What gets me about Dune 3 is that as of now, it's still scheduled to release the exact same day as Avengers Doomsday, which of course now everybody's saying, oh, it's going to be Doomsday. It's going to be Barbenheimer. And it's like, no,
that's got to move.
One of the two is going to move. But Warner Brothers apparently not long ago came out and said, no, we're not moving. I still don't believe them because Avengers isn't going to move, which means Dune is going to get squashed.
If this like everyone wanted Oppenheimer and Barbie coming out, yeah, that's one thing. If Dune and Doomsday come out the same day, has there ever been a bigger weekend in movie history?
No.
No. If that actually ends up happening, oh my God.
I mean, it sounds like great. Like, oh, we can go see both these movies one day. First of all, both of them probably 3 hours long. So I don't know if you want to see them both
7 hour day.
But then on top of that, whereas like Barbenheimer, it's like you had this audience and this audience, and a little bit of crossover. People want to see them both. But it was largely it was a big day because like 2 different giant movies came out. This one is totally overlapping audiences, so Dune's going to lose money by trying to open up against us.
And they're not going to do it because it's Disney and Warner Brothers. You almost need to like come up with like, hey, we're just going to do this as a double feature. Like you can buy both tickets. We're just going to sell them like that, and then you can also buy single tickets as well. But you might as well just go like, look, we're going to show Avengers Doomsday and Dune. We'll do Dune first and Avengers Doomsday because just to lighten it up, I guess, a little bit.
What's more likely to happen is what I know studios do a lot is that the studios will talk and they're like, hey, you move off this release date, and let us say that's when you guys move, and then on this future date, like I know you guys want this one, we'll move off of that one for you and leave that window open for you.
Here's what I think is going to happen. 3 things. 1, it stays right where it's at, and we're going to have the most epic fucking battle weekend, which
I don't think it's happening. Okay.
Avengers is going to beat the shit out of them just because it's fucking MCU. 2, one of them is going to move to Thanksgiving, which if it is, it's going to be Dune. Or one of them is going to move to like March or April of next year. So that way they can be the first big thing for the summer. That's the only 3 options I can see. Stay, Thanksgiving, or March/April. One of them is going to budge. If they don't, this is going to be the atomic bomb of movie theater openings.
Yeah, no, I'm almost certain that it's going to be Dune moving forward to like Thanksgiving time, because they're going to want early enough to make some money before Avengers comes out. I don't think they want to move back to March again, because that's going to be the first Dune, and I don't think they liked how that turned out.
They had a battle for Oscar nominations the following year, and I think they
it was that, and it's not, and both of them are, you know, have finished production. They're in post production now, so neither of them is
personally
an issue of needing more time. So
what I would do, and they're not going to do it because they'd be moving it up quite a bit. I would do September, October, and take the record. The box office record, I think, is still it for September. Come out in September. You will dominate the entire fucking month. You'll dominate probably both September and October, because there's not really much else that's going to really battle you. You will dominate pretty much almost till Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
To me, money-wise,
or even find a good summer slot, because other than like maybe Odyssey and Spider-Man, there aren't really giant money blockbusters.
Which is why I say September, because at that point the summer movies are out. Here comes Dune, and there's not really much else that's going to combat you all the way to Thanksgiving. And then by Thanksgiving time, you're then releasing on digital, and then you have that. To me, I feel like that's the smart play, because Christmas-wise, you're going to get swallowed by Avengers, and you're going to be like, oh, Dune was considered a non-success. No, it's because it was going up against Doomsday. But if you come out in September, you get September money, October money, and November till Thanksgiving money, and then you drop it on digital for Thanksgiving, for Black Friday, all that kind of crap. To me, it's a smart business money option for you. But I digress. What is your number 3?
4. My number 4.
Dune was my 3, so I jumped ahead of you.
Oh, I don't know. What did you have at your 4 and 5? 4 was Odyssey, right?
4 was Odyssey.
Okay.
And then wasn't your 4 Spider-Man?
No, my 5 was Spider-Man. You said to hold on to
that. Okay.
My 4 is The Adventures of Cliff Booth. This is the
Is this actually coming out this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still not sure if it's theatrical or Netflix or what, though. I think it might actually be.
It don't matter. It's still a movie.
But this is a spin-off, I guess, sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I like. It's not one of my favorite Tarantino movies, but I like it. And I definitely liked Brad Pitt's character, Cliff Booth, in that movie. He was the best. I
love characters in it. I don't love the movie.
Yes. And this is like a spin-off or sequel, whatever you call it, following the kind of, it's 8 years after the events of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's Cliff Booth has become basically this he has this new role as a fixer in the Hollywood system. This is written by Quentin Tarantino and directed by David Fincher. And I find that fascinating, because Fincher's style is nothing like Tarantino's style. So to see, well, you're going to have the dialogue and the story and stuff as written by Quentin Tarantino. So it'll still be the same character and it'll have the same feel to it. But I think the movie's going to have a very, very different tone. And I'm here for it, because I want to see. Now, this could turn out to be a giant disappointment. This could be my number 1 disappointment of the year.
They could have huge clashes because of who they are.
Yeah. Or it could be great. Because we haven't seen Tarantino write something that someone else directed since From Dusk Till Dawn? Might be the last one.
I think so, yeah.
And then before that was like, True Romance and things.
Or Grindhouse, Planet Terror.
Did he write? I don't know if he did or not.
I don't know. But that's the only one I could think of.
But either way, it's been a long time since he's written anything that someone else directed. And he didn't want to do this. He's only doing one more movie. He didn't want to do a sequel. So he said, David Fincher said, hey, I'll do it. And he said, sure. Because David Fincher, obviously very close to Brad Pitt. They've done several films together, and they wanted to do this project, and they got Quentin Tarantino's blessing, and he wrote the script for it. So I'm excited about it just based on that alone, because I like Brad Pitt. I like him as his character. I like his work with David Fincher. He also had Scott Conn, Elizabeth Debicki, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, Carla Gugino, who we don't see enough of anymore, Holt McElhenney, Timothy Oliphant, once again popping up, I assume, as his same character, the actor from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So yeah, I was actually surprised when it made it this high on my list, because I kept moving it up. I'm like, no, a little bit higher. No, I like it more than that one. And it ended up at number 4. So potential for disappointment, but also could be great.
This is basically Cliff Booth as Ray Donovan. because that's basically what Ray Donovan is. He's like Hollywood cleaner. I'm there for it. I just didn't know this was coming out this year. I thought this was going to be like a 2027 movie.
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, I love Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so I'll take more Cliff Booth. Whether he's fighting Bruce Lee or not. But I only have 2 left. So,
all right, my number 3 then is a movie from one of my favorite directors working today, David Leitch. And he's basically the main reason this is where it is, because I love David Leitch films. It's called How to Rob a Bank. Don't know much about this movie, but David Leitch is directing it. Obviously, 87 North doing all the action and stunts. It stars Nicholas Hoult, Anna Sawai, who is just in that Godzilla show. It's called Monarch.
oh yeah, Mark.
And she was also in Shogun, I believe. Zoe Kravitz, John C. Reilly, Pete Davidson, well, people like Christian Slater. Yeah, I don't know anything about this movie. Once you just told me it's a new movie from David Leitch, it's going to be in my top 10. Why is it all the way at number 3? I don't know. Just because I really love his movies. So, yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it.
David Leitch was our movie of the year last year with The Fall Guy. So
yeah, it's bank robbing and David Leitch. That's all I know about it, and it's enough to make it my top few.
And big shocker, our number 1s and number 2. Well, no, you already mentioned my number 2, which is Spider-Man: Brand New Day. I'm wondering what your number 2 is then.
Let me do my 2 real fast because I have very little to say about it.
Okay.
My number 2 is untitled J.J. Abrams film.
I literally did not put this on there just because that's literally what it was called. I was like, I'm not putting this on here.
Because, I mean, he has not made a movie since Rise of Skywalker, which I didn't hate as much as most people. And the faults of Rise of Skywalker were not his fault. It was him trying to clean up the mess left by the...
No, it was the studio forcing him to fix everything that Ryan Johnson did.
But his last original film was Super 8 back in 2011, I want to say.
I'm so glad that you went back and rewatched that after I told you to. Because I brought it up, and you're like, man, I haven't watched Super 8 in so long. I should really watch that again.
Oh, I thought you were implying I didn't like it originally, and you wanted me to rewatch it.
No. I can't remember if we were talking about it on the show or what, but I was like, man, I went back and rewatched Super 8. It's so amazing. You're like, I really should rewatch that. I don't remember much about it.
Yeah.
And then you ended up loving it.
And I did, and I loved it. And then, so this is his first original film since then. He's writing this, he's directing it. It stars Glenn Powell, Jenna Ortega, Emma Mackey, and Samuel L. Jackson. And this is the perfect example of, for me, if you have a great pedigree in this movie, it's already going to be one of my most anticipated movies of the year. It's my number, what did I say, my number 2? Most anticipated movie of the year. I don't even know the plot of this movie, but based on the director and based on the cast, again, it might not be one of my favorite movies of the year, but in terms of anticipation, it's absolutely up there.
Yeah, like I said, I saw this, I saw the cast, and I was like, well, if I actually knew what the fuck this movie was, I would put it on my list, but I really don't want to just go J.J. Abrams' new movie. I don't know anything else.
I have no problem doing that. Just being honest.
Which leaves the last 2 movies. Of course, we're finishing with the MCU. My number 2 is Spider-Man: Brand New Day, and of course, number 1 is Avengers: Doomsday, which I'm assuming that's your number 1.
Yes.
Let's talk Spider-Man first, because that's the one that's going to be coming out first. We both absolutely loved No Way Home. And I have loved every Tom Holland Spider-Man rendition so far. I loved Homecoming. I thought Far From Home was great. I really wish we would have gotten more Jake Gyllenhaal as Morbius. I thought he was great in that role. And of course, No Way Home. Didn't think that me and Brian were both going to get emotional at the exact same scene without either one of us knowing, but that scene is perfection. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just going to say Andrew Garfield, and you guys should figure it out from there. Brand New Day is, to me, I think right now, based off of where we left No Way Home, the most ambitious, because we really don't know what we're going to get. And there's a ton of crap being said online. Oh, I'm staying away from it all. I don't want to know. I don't want anyone to show it. Like, I just want to see the trailer and be left alone at that. But like I said, Tom Holland as Spider-Man, I'm 100% locked in on. Zendaya, obviously, is going to be back in it. Sandy Sink from Stranger Things. She's supposed to be somebody. I've heard things. I'm not going to believe
People
it.
basically have thrown out any redheaded character in the MCU, from Jean Grey to Gwen Stacy to whatever. It's like nobody knows who she is.
Or she's the new MJ. And I'm like, That's gonna be stupid if she's MJ and there's two MJ. No, they're not gonna do that. But Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi, I liked that one. He also did Just Mercy, which I liked. I heard Short-Term 12.
You haven't seen that.
Well, I never saw that one, but I and then Ruffalo's in this, so we're gonna get some Hulk. John Bernthal, so we're gonna get some fucking Punisher in this. So you know me, man, I love Punisher. And then also, supposedly we're supposed to get some Tombstone in this one. Played by the actor who literally voices Tombstone in the Spider-Verse movies. So we'll see where we go from there. But like I said, I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I love the trilogy that we did get. So without really knowing much else, it doesn't matter to me. Just like J.J. Abrams' movie for you. If it's Spider-Man, it's Tom Holland Spider-Man, or the Spider-Verse, it's immediately at the top of the list for me. So I can't really explain much more because we don't know much more right now. We've been getting Avengers Doomsday shit, and Spider-Man comes out like 6 months earlier, and we don't have a shit about Spider-Man so far. So yeah.
Yeah, because I love the last three Spider-Man films. I think that No Way Home is the best live-action Spider-Man film there is. It would be the best Spider-Man film if the Spider-Verse movies didn't exist, because those are perfect. The two we have so far, anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this one. I kind of like that it's supposedly we're now kind of rebooting Spider-Man back to the your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's not doing these big save the world.
That's why I say it's the most ambitious, because we're now grounding it back down.
But at the same time, I think they're setting him up for however he's going to. From what we know, he's not in Doomsday, although we don't know what we don't know. But I'm sure. But apparently, he supposedly is going to be in Secret Wars. So we're going to figure out how he's going to re-enter this, so people are going to know who he is, how that whole thing works out, because we don't know where things are going after the way it was left after No Way Home. But I mean, just based on the past Spider-Man films, I'm assuming this one's going to be great. And then next to you added Destin Daniel Cretton. That's just one more, great talent you're adding to it. I love the addition of Sadie Sink. I think she's one of the best things about Stranger Things. John Bernthal and Mark Ruffalo. I didn't watch The Punisher or Daredevil TV shows.
He's amazing as the Punisher.
That's all I've heard. Nothing but good things. I know you like John Bernthal, so I'm curious to see how he's going to interact with.
Didn't you watch Born Again?
No.
Daredevil?
No.
You didn't watch the new Daredevil?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, you have no idea how he is as Punisher.
I have no idea.
So, yeah.
Mark Ruffalo, I'm curious to see if he's just Banner, or if we actually get to see some Hulk and Spider-Man. I don't know. All I hope is that I just want, with whatever we do in the future of MCU, can we get back, just Angry Hulk and get away from Smart Hulk?
Last time we saw him, he had a son apparently, and
let's hope. I hope they can just somehow retcon that shit. I think even they're like, what the fuck are we thinking there? Anyway, but we're getting into a whole tangent there. But knowing nothing about this, it's easy top 5 automatic.
Yeah, and which leaves our number 1, Avengers Doomsday. I mean, come on, guys, why wouldn't it have been our number 1? I mean, simple. We're basic when it comes to this. I mean. What's there to say right now that's not bullshit online right now? Which I'm sure most of it's not bullshit. We're just refusing to look at.
Well, here's my problem: is there are people who I know have been told the entirety of the story of Doomsday, and they heard it from 3 or 4 different sources, and they all matched up. So it sounds like there are people in the know who know it's about, and I'm so worried. So I'm trying to avoid everything I can. It's not like an officially released teaser or something, because I don't want to know anything more than I already know. It's like we already know through that whole chair watch thing where they announced a lot of people, and it's probably not everybody that's in the movie, but they announced all these names come back, whether it be people from X-Men, and then of course you have the Fantastic Four coming in, and then the new Avengers, Thunderbolts coming in, as well as some of the old Avengers that we know. Where you have the return of Chris Evans, apparently you have Thor coming. The X-Men is the thing. I don't know what to think of this, because I'm not a fan of multiverse. We know that. I've said that 1,000 times on the show. But this whole saga between this and Secret Wars is apparently wrapping up the multiverse once and for all, which is good. So but in the teaser of the Doomsday teaser that has X-Men in it, you got James Marsden in his comic accurate Cyclops outfit finally.
Which They still haven't released that teaser, so technically it's fake. It's to me, I'm pretending I don't know it because I have not seen a legitimate release of that yet.
I believe it was supposed to be today. It started showing with Avatar, but I'm not certain about that.
Okay.
'Cause I thought it was each weekend, like each Friday, they were putting a new one on it. So supposedly it's out. I have not gone back to see it again, so I don't know. But anyway, so I mean, as long as you're gonna wrap things up, you want to include them just to kind of wrap up all the multiverse stuff. Great. We don't really know the story of this. I like the idea of using Robert Downey Jr. as Doom because it creates.
I think it's kind of brilliant.
It is because besides
Yeah.
just having Doom as a new villain, it adds a whole nother level to it with everyone that knows Robert Downey. Well, they know that face as Tony Stark.
Yeah.
You know, especially eventually when you do get to it, probably not this film because we don't think Spider-Man's in it. But when you do have, Spider-Man re-encountering this villain who he thinks is Tony Stark, his mentor,
Yeah.
And so I think that, but the rest of everybody, whether Captain America, whoever, I think it's just it adds a second layer of depth to this whole saga. And this is, I mean, it's just going to be huge. It's going to be awesome. The people that do say they know everything about it say that it just sounds like it's amazing and they can't wait to see it. So I'm excited, even though we don't know much of anything.
It's going to be very hard, very, very, very hard to get through the next 11 months.
11 months.
11 months to get through without. It's already hard enough now because people just want to post shit, and I'm just like, like, come on, like seriously, like stop. Just
it's not even like just don't click on the video because they put it in like the thumbnail. They put the picture there.
Yes, I know the X-Men teaser trailer because I was just going through like Facebook and someone just literally put that like as their post. And it's like, come on, man. So yeah, I've already seen James Marsden in the Cyclops outfit. It was grainy as shit. So I don't have like a HD version of it, but still, it's like, come on, man. Like, stop. Why? What? You're not gonna get paid for this, so you're just releasing this shit to be a dick.
Yeah.
Or those people who like used to do like first in the comments section. It's like, no, you're a jackass. Like, don't do that shit. But of the two actual teasers that I've seen, which is the Captain America and the Chris Hemsworth, I mean, the Captain America thing was like, okay, cool. So Chris Evans is back. Because I even had like a guy I work with who has not watched since Endgame. He's like, "How didn't Captain America die?" And I'm like, "Well, wow, you really don't remember Endgame if you think Cap died." I was like, "No, Captain America looks like Clint Eastwood now. He's basically an old dude." I was like, "But I mean, I'm happy to see Chris Evans back as long as it's going to matter. I don't want everyone just showing up in this thing if it's not going to matter." That's the whole worry that I've got. Like, because Deadpool and Wolverine effectively was supposed to be like the nail in the coffin or the end point of the Sony X-Men. That's why the ending was like a behind the scenes, like, oh yeah, you remember all these people, stuff like that. And now it's like, nope, they're in this too. It's like, okay, like, is McAvoy supposed to be in this as well, or is it just old school X-Men? Do you remember from the chair thing?
I don't remember if McAvoy was listed or not.
Like, we're not going to get Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique. I think we're getting Rebecca Romaine. So I feel like we're getting
I think it's old school. Yeah,
I think it's old school, like X-Men, not them. Which it's like, okay,
that makes sense because they aged up into them. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, but we're supposed to like be moving on to a new X-Men. Like, I get our boy, he's become like reinvigorated to be Wolverine, which I'm like, I'm okay if he's still Wolverine, but if eventually they're like, there's a younger version of Wolverine out there, and then he's going to kind of take over once Hugh's like done, then fine.
Well, as far as we know, Hugh Jackman's not in this, so
No, but he even said that he feels rejuvenated enough to come back and keep doing Wolverine, which I'm like, dude, yeah, but your body though.
Oh, but don't.
Like,
we don't want you to. It's like you did a great job. Just hang it up. Come on.
Like, it's your body that I'm more worried about getting in Wolverine shape. I would love if Taron Egerton just took over as Wolverine. But I really liked the Thor teaser though. I really liked that scene where he's praying to the All Father. I thought that was really, really good because, like I said, I'm happy that it looks like we're getting serious Thor again. Fun Thor was fun for a while, but now I kind of want Thor to go back to being serious. And like I said, with Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom, there's so many scenes that I am just envisioning in my head that I can't wait to see, like Cap seeing Tony and realizing that it's not fucking Tony. Obviously, Spider-Man seeing him. Hell, fucking if they're gonna bring her back, fucking Pepper seeing him and not. I mean, yeah, like his daughter. Like if she's gonna be a factor in this, there's so many things, and this movie just feels so overwhelmingly big. Like Endgame was massive, and Infinity War, they were massive. It's like, how the fuck are they gonna pull this off? It's even more so and worse now, because now you're throwing in the X-Men, old school X-Men, that it's like, are you gonna have enough fucking time to give everyone their due so they're not only on screen for like 2 fucking minutes? It's ambitious as hell, and it's gonna be obviously be a 2-parter with Secret Wars, but you can't help but have this be the most anticipated film of the year, because you've got it. We've been on this journey now for it's almost been 20 years. It's weird when you look back, like, oh, the MCU started 18 years ago. That's insane to me right now, thinking that. And it's, yeah, I come on, like, of course it is. We've done so many videos about the MCU. Why wouldn't this be our number one most anticipated? And then, newsflash, 2027, unless Doomsday's fucking awful, Secret Wars is probably gonna be number 1 next year too. Here's your spoiler. Here's your spoiler from a year from now. But yeah, it's just, I don't know how they're gonna be able to pull this off. It feels like so much pressure for the Russos. And to like, if they can stick the landing on this, like, because everyone's been wanting to just jump on MCU's ass over the last, like, pretty much since Endgame, or pretty much since No Way Home. MCU's just been criticized over and over and over again. I feel like I'm one of the last few that's like, I pretty much for the most part has liked mostly everything. Secret Wars or Secret Invasion aside, because that was dog shit. But if they can pull this off, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. But those are our 30-ish to 40-ish most anticipated films of the year. There's another 40 plus films that Brian and I probably really, really wanted to talk about that we didn't get to talk about on this episode. But what are your most anticipated films of 2026? I'm sure we mentioned them a lot in here, but there is a movie that we did not mention that's supposed to come out in 2026. Let us know in the comments below what you're excited for. And if you are excited for, obviously, Doomsday, Spider-Man, everything that we already mentioned, let us know as well. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did, go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos pop up on the Movie Crusaders. Of course, follow us on those social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, I don't know yet. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if we're going to do another Decades of or Cinemasochism or something like that. I think the next big movie won't be for another couple weeks. So review-wise, they're not anything. So unless something big comes up, actually, no. You know what the next big thing is going to be? The Movie Crusader Awards. Our 4th or 5th year of that. We have to get together and compile our nominees and all that and come up with our Movie Crusader Awards, because it's going to be a pretty fun year for that. And then, of course, once we get closer to the Oscars, we will have our actual, like, Oscar show where we will have our version of Best Actor, Director, Actress, Movie, all that kind of fun stuff. But that's definitely what should be coming up. There'll be movies or shows springing up between. We hope you guys stick around with us. But we are now moving on into 2026. Here's hoping 2026 is as exciting as we think and hope it's going to be. And we'll be back around here in 2027 to talk about Secret Wars. But we are the Movie Crusaders. I'm Sean Wasserkrug. That is Brian Michaels. Until next time, in case we don't see you, go watch some movies and go have some fun.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.